Oh, the music is very loud. I just want to say, I don't want to hear a single comment that I have ice in my wine glass. Loving the song, thank you. I finally paid for this music, which means you can't take away my money that I earn on here, aka like my 20 cents. But still. Okay. Let me promote this on Insta. And then we can totally get started. Okay. This is a pretty fun. I feel like this music really fits the vibe, honestly. It's passing the vibe check. Okay, let me find a tea image. Tea. Bring on the craziness. Heck yeah. Are you kidding me? That's the whole point of tonight. Oh, wow. Instagram just crashed on me. That's lovely. Oh, what the heck? Okay, let's try this again. Join. Oh my gosh. Is it just that photo? Fine. I'll use a different one. I'll use this one. We'll use tea. Oh, they changed the font on. Wow. Okay. What happened to my link? Y'all, I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess express right now. I gotta promote this, and then we can get the party started. Copy. I gotta tell the people what we're doing. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Perfect timing. Hi, friends. How's it going? This music is a vibe. Not Jim. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys like the music. I'm going to keep it going. I'm just going to turn it down, like way, way down, just so it's not like blaring in our ears. Okay. But I think we're fine with that. Okay. Perfect. Ready? Now you get to see my shining face. Hi, friends. This is how we do it. Oh, I actually should probably stop saying that. Hi, because I'll get copywritten. Hi, everyone. Okay, welcome to our first Y'all Reaching session. Ignore the messy room behind me. It's a disaster, okay? But welcome to our first Y'all Reaching. I'm very excited. This has been planned. I want to say that Taylor, Izzy, Avery, and I have been talking about this for a few months now, and it was just a matter of getting our schedules organized and figuring out like when was the best time to do this and like all this fun jazz. So it's tonight. But tonight, before I bring everyone in, I want to preface this because I can already hear the Twitter warriors coming for me. This tonight is not meant to make fun of anyone's theories. It is not meant to make fun of a person for their ideas. In fact, I have had really crazy ideas that I'm going to share with you guys tonight that I know aren't canon. So it is just to have fun and to discuss what is like just some crazy things that we know, like, come on, they're not true, but they're still fun to think about. It's a fantasy world. We can discuss them. So we are not making fun of anyone. We are not making fun of any theories. We will have fun with it. We will laugh about it, but this is not to upset anyone. Okay? Even though I know it probably will. But listen, we're grown adults. I have wine. Literally. Okay, so that's what we're doing tonight. If you have a something you want us to discuss, you can go to slido.com. Here, I can put the code in. Slido.com. And the code tonight is reaching. So literally, if you just type in reaching, it's going to come up. The way this is going to work is Taylor, Izzy, Avery, and I have prepped already our favorite and least favorite theories. So we will discuss those, and then we will every once in a while come in and talk theories. So some stuff from Slido. So it's going to be a bit of a mix. If you put in a theory in Slido that is like a legitimate theory, because I did see... What? Oh, hold on. I logged into the wrong Slido account, or the wrong Zoom account. Izzy, Avery, and Taylor, please hold. I don't know how this happened. This is embarrassing. Google. I'm going to put a new link in for you guys. Hold on. Okay. Okay, while they come in, I think they're going to be able to come in. We'll just keep talking. Sorry, guys. I was like, why is there 40 minutes? Okay, there we go. So what I was going to say is we have already prepped some stuff. Oh, if you put a legitimate theory in here, because there are some that I saw that were in the Slido code, hi love, we won't discuss that. Okay, so don't think that we are going to... Oh. Who is it? There we go. We're not going to discuss those. So if you have any like legitimate theories, we're just going to leave them in Slido, but we're not going to talk about those today. These are just the fun, crazy ones. Okay. Oh, I now know what's going on.
And I was trying.
There we go.
We can be seen, just so y'all are aware.
Yeah.
So just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Okay. Hi, friends. Okay. Oh, someone said peep the shirt.
Really funny to watch back later.
Yeah, look. You can't
already almost done with my first
one.
one.
Lord, I made a margarita.
I also want to, for anyone wondering,
I never make like cocktails, and I should.
I just realized I'm muted. You guys can't hear me talking to them. They can all hear you.
Good.
I was like, why aren't they saying anything to me? Because I was like, hi, everyone. No one responded. I was going to say, the shirt that I'm wearing tonight is this is the misprint. This isn't the color it's coming in. The design is actually kind of funkily messed up here. So the official one looks better, but it is... This is one of them. But hi, everyone. How's it going?
Hello, friends.
Hello.
It's not like we talk all the time.
As if we don't talk every day.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Izzy?
Is can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you fine.
Oh, God. I've been sitting here trying to fix my audio hastily for 3 minutes, and it's working.
Listen. Yeah. No. We can hear you. You're good. You're golden.
Okay.
Okay. So let me... I preface everyone, you can put in your thing. Keep in mind too, you can upvote things. So instead of just continuously putting in suggestions, make sure that you upvote them. Also, as a quick caveat, because I saw someone was doing this, these are just discussions. Don't put comments during the live because we're not keeping up with it that much. And also know that it is going to separate your comments. So don't like stagger it with multiple things if they're all connected, because we won't know they're connected. So
yeah,
just throwing that out here. Oh, and the final thing I want to say, which I feel like this is obvious, this is full Sarah J. Maas spoilers.
Yeah.
We will talk about Crescent City Sky and Breath. We will talk about Kingdom of Ash, and we will talk about Silver Flames. So if you are not up to date, this live is being recorded. It is saved. You can come back to it. So just want to throw that out here. Yeah. Bye, friends.
Also, tonight is brought to you in part by technical difficulties, apparently, because Taylor and I both had a hard time getting into the original Zoom the first time. And then my live, as I was telling people to come to your live, just kicked me off. And I was like, oh, okay.
Why?
I don't know.
TikTok live has been weird lately.
I had TikTok. I had it scheduled to go from 8 to 9, but it doesn't usually like kick you off. But it it straight up at 8:59 kicked me off. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's a choice. Interesting.
So hopefully everybody made it over here. I went ahead and posted it to my story.
Right?
But
Like,
that is how today is going.
Was it a full moon or anything in the last couple of days?
No,
Yes,
but
it was. It was
Pluto-
on Monday.
Oh,
Monday.
okay. And then Pluto is also in retrograde. So
So that
Oh.
makes sense. Everything's just
Okay.
falling apart.
okay.
Pluto
Okay.
was in retrograde from June to August. We
You
are
have your answer right there. It makes sense.
sorry, it's April to July is June's retrograde. So or Pluto's retrograde. So it's gonna be a bitch and a half.
Wow.
Now I know
okay.
why I've been, such a psycho lately.
You thought it ended abruptly. It did end abruptly,
Okay.
guys.
So we're going to start and we're going to talk about the first one in the Slido, and then we're going to go through and discuss. I think let's just start violent, and let's just do the one that we hate. We all picked a theory. So for anyone who doesn't know, the homework I gave everyone was you have to pick a theory you hate, a theory you love but you know isn't true, and then one that you want to discuss as a group.
I'm amending that. It's one that you love that doesn't have enough evidence to support it yet. Not that you know is not true.
I'm pretty sure I told you it had to be not true.
But you also told me I could talk about what I'm going to talk about, and we don't know.
Okay,
that's
well,
not-
that's just an exception for you, Avery, not the entire group.
I followed the instructions, Sarah.
Yeah, because
Oh my god, Isabella, you little brownie.
I always knew I wasn't the favorite, so I wasn't even gonna try.
apparently, Taylor and I are the interchangeable forgotten ones. So.
I'm the Scorpio. I know I'm never the favorite. It's fine.
That's not true, Taylor.
I know, but we can't tell people that, Sarah. We have.
That's
to let
fine.
Avery-
That's fine. We'll let them think Avery's my favorite. It's fine.
I'm offended.
None of you matter. I'm the double Leo.
Listen,
I'm the
I sent Sarah a screenshot of a book recommendation today that has a combination of two of her favorite men. So
Yeah.
I got some.
Yeah,
bad-
listen.
I said this morning when you guys decided to blow up the chat that I had a busy day at work. So I don't know what you want from me.
I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so we're gonna start with the Slido, the first one that's on here, and then and this first one, I just want to know everyone's immediate reaction before we're like, hell no, or whatever, and then
Okay.
and then we'll go around and we'll say the theory that we hate, the one that just grinds our gears, because I am ready. Okay, but the top one that's in Slido is Tamlin and Elain are actually mates, and Lucian was just covering.
Oh no.
Y'all really tested me today.
That's the one we're gonna start out with, huh? We're just really gonna.
That's where we're starting. Okay.
All right. Hold on before we start.
I need more tequila.
Can I just say, I'm not laughing at the theory. I'm just laughing at all of us going, okay, wow, we're starting here.
Yeah. All right. I need something stronger. Okay.
So what's interesting is I noticed it really wasn't until this was before Silver Flames came out. A lot of people were convinced that Elain would end up with Tamlin. And from my understanding, it was just because of the flowers.
Cause
right?
flowers. Cause flowers.
It was just flowers, right?
Yeah, spring court guy.
Okay. Because I was like, is it a flower thing? Is it a, like...
It's got to be the flower thing, and the fact that they always mention that she would thrive in spring. You're
Yeah,
just
I
Well,
like that too.
in
But did they
Akatar,
mention
which in
Yeah.
Akatar, which I'm listening to right now with Dylan, Feyre specifically says that Elain would like the spring court.
Well,
Yeah,
and
and
you know,
it's brought up
like-
in Akasif too.
Elain and Tamlin are the real Beauty and the Beast.
Can you just
Oh
shut up
my
for a minute?
God. Well, okay. So
you know,
for-
I didn't
Read up my faces? Oh God.
So I just want to quickly say, because I know someone's gonna ask this. If you are not familiar, Throne of Glass was a Cinderella retelling. I know, okay?
Okay.
And then all of us are like, okay. Throne of Glass Book 1 is supposed to be a Cinderella retelling. Akatar is supposed to be a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but really it's a Hades and Persephone, if I'm going to be totally honest. And Crescent City is like what, Zootopia?
Oh yeah,
It's Zootopia.
Yeah, it's Zootopia. So, like, when I think a lot of people have, like, hung on to this idea that Sarah now has to make retellings only, which I'm kind of like, whatever. And so, yeah, the Beauty and the Beast thing, people still want to hold on to that.
What is Akasif a retelling of?
I think it's supposed to be just the first book. So like Cinderella, because you know how like Dorian takes her to the ball, like that. Yeah. And then which actually the actual fiction press, the original one was more Cinderella based.
Right. Oh yeah, you gave me the link to that one. I still need to read it.
Oh, for anyone who has never read the original fiction press of Throne of Glass, it's a trip. I only got like 3 pages in and I was like, I'm good.
Somebody got an editor.
Someone got it. Someone grew up because she started writing that at like 16 and you can tell. And you know what? It's way better than what I wrote at 16. So I am not complaining.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
I didn't even try when I was 16.
So, Tamlin and Elain being mates. Is anyone convinced on that? Anyone think that's possible? Okay,
no.
That's just want to make sure. Wanted to make sure.
Illusion is, oh my god.
Okay. I know.
Like,
I know.
Here's the thing.
Why? Why do they want
all the time about
Tamlin and Elain together?
I don't. We get yelled at all the time about how, as Gwenriel stands, barring Sarah, we don't like Elain, and that is just inherently untrue.
Yeah,
I love Elain. I think she has a lot more story that I want to hear before she gets her own book.
Yeah,
but I love her. I think she has a lot of places she can go, and I think that her relationship with Lucian will be so good. It'll be such a good story. And so different than anything that she's written so far. Yeah. And I'm just like, why don't you want that?
Yeah. She has a chance to do something different with Elain and Lucian, and that is have a story where it's a pairing that hasn't fallen in love before they had the mating bond.
Yeah.
Like that's like a whole new dynamic for her to explore.
Yeah.
Okay, someone asked, and I am going to go into this because this is part of the thing that I hate about how Maeve made Rowan think he had a mate, but he didn't. I'm gonna go into this I will save that because
we're gonna let Sarah take crewmates.
So yeah, but yeah, I would agree. I it's so hard with Elain because some people really want her with Lucian because that's her mate, and that. I hate to use the word true, but I want to say her official mate. Like that is Cauldron official
her Cauldron
mate.
Blessed mate.
Yes, it's her Cauldron blessed mate, okay?
Yeah.
And like you only get one, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. And for anyone that's going to say to me, Sarah said in a tweet, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and just chuck this out here because I'm sick and tired of talking about this. So a lot of people will reference that in 2015, Sarah used to be very active on Twitter, and someone asked a question if people could have more than one mate, and she said yes. Now, friends, do you know what came out in 2015? What was about to come out when that tweet happened? Empire of Storms. Empire of Storms was either going to be, I think Queen of Shadows was technically out and she was in the middle of writing Empire of Storms. Regardless, Empire of Storms was not out yet, okay? Y'all, Sarah was trolling you because of Rowan. She had no idea, like, okay? Like, it has nothing to do, there is no evidence to prove it has anything to do with any other book. So when she referenced that tweet, it was specifically about Rowan, okay? It's very
Additionally, that tweet was part of a specific, I believe it was a QA for the release of the next book.
Yes.
So she was literally she only answered it because it was part of an event as well.
Yes.
For anybody saying she answered it because she wanted us to pick up the clues. No, it was part of an event.
No, and I can guarantee you that in 2015, before Empire of Storms came out, she was not thinking about your Aleutian, Gwenriel, Elriel bullshit. She wasn't. By the way, we hit the 5-minute mark. Okay.
Oh, blessings.
Okay.
Thank fuck.
So,
Thank fuck.
so
Here we go.
So I just want to preface that because a lot of people will bring that up, and it's bullshit. It's a one and done. Okay. Who wants to go first for the theory they hate?
Taylor and I think are gonna tag team, so we
we have the same theory
Okay.
that we hate. We're
Okay.
very passionate about.
Okay, what is it?
Say it with me, friends. Briel.
Briel.
Briel, my least favorite of all time.
So post Hosab, some lovely humans decided to come onto my TikTok and just be like, Bryce and Dazriel, Briel. And I immediately went block.
So
I'm just not doing it.
Okay, so can you explain why people think Briel is a ship?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Avery, go ahead.
It's a very simple thing, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
it's very simple. So obviously Bryce lands in Prithian. Hi, Hosab spoilers. We've been over this, but Hosab spoilers. Bryce lands in Prithian, and she lands in front of a blindfold carrying Azrael.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And because she lands in front of him, he was calling to her, and it brought her to Prithian. No!
Yeah, there was a dating bond that was pulling him to her when she
No. It's that, and it's also the sword and the dagger.
It's the prophecy. It's the prophecy, I think, is what a lot of people
So the
think
sword,
is Az and Bryce.
So
Yes.
Truth Teller is the missing piece of the Star Sword, because the Star Sword is Gwydion, which was High King Finn's sword in the wars against the Daglin, which are the Asteri in Akatar.
Yes.
Friends.
So it's the reason, basically, to sum this up, the reason this theory came about was two things. One, because Bryce is the one, or Az is the one that found Bryce and Prithian, and two, because Azrael has Truth Teller and Bryce had the Star Sword and that huge prophecy in Crescent City that was clearly heavily inspired. People don't think that there's any godforsaken reason why Azrael would give up that Truth Teller, and so that means they must be together.
So
Well, I think a lot of it stems from people that, like, from those who don't believe that Bryce and Hunt are actually mates as well.
agreed. And honestly, why? Quinlan are mates.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Azrael's gonna probably give up Truth Teller, friends. Like, he probably gonna get rid of the knife, but it's okay because we got Nesta's dagger back from Eris. Just get him that dagger. There you go.
Yeah, Izzy, what's up?
Yes, I would like to tack on to the getting rid of the dagger thing.
Mhm.
The theory that Morgan gave him the dagger, and that's why it's called Truth Teller. That's not a theory that I'm labeling, but I'm saying if he does get rid of the dagger, well, when he does, he's getting rid of it. I'm sorry, it's happening.
Yeah,
When he does, it's going to be, I think that we'll get a nice little POV from Bryce of like maybe everybody's reaction to him getting rid of that dagger. And it'll also be sort of like, for us Akatar fans, like the official moving on from Moore, if that is a dagger that Moore gave him.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll find out the truth about that.
In
till the next
addition
chapter.
to that, people are pulling in the birthday situation.
Nope, we're not talking about that. Pause. Not talking about that. So,
we know it's Bryce's year. That's all I'm gonna say.
No. I'm putting a time on that one.
Okay.
But the one thing I will say, just to kind of tackle on all of this stuff, is just the logistics of the fact that, like, taking it all out of a fantasy world and thinking about the fact that, you know, these books are traditionally published by a big publishing agency called Bloomsbury. And did I say that right?
Yeah, it's just called Bloomsbury.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've heard of them.
I'm just saying it. I'm just saying that the logistics of, first off, I don't know. I can only imagine what her editor thought when she saw Rhysand at the end of Hosab, because I would have had a heart attack, because the marketing nightmare of which you have to now justify people reading ACOTAR and also reading Crescent City is one thing, because for anyone who doesn't remember, when she was heavily promoting Silver Flames, she said in almost every single live, you do not have to read the ACOTAR series to read Silver Flames. And I can guarantee you that was a marketing push from Bloomsbury. So the logistics of a pairing that's a crossover, on top of the fact that like anything is going to have major repercussions of the other series, is not true. It's just not going to happen. A dagger being moved is not a big deal. They can explain that in one sentence, but the actual like bringing a character and having them stay in one spot is a logistical nightmare for anyone who refuses to read Crescent City and is waiting for the next ACOTAR book. So no, that's not happening.
She needs to have all the series be able to stand alone in case people don't want to read everything.
Yeah.
So.
Sarah, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but a lot of people think that everybody at the end of the next book of Crescent City will be remaining in Prithian.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Okay, I just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah, it's just a logistic nightmare. Like that, it just comes down to that. Like it would be fine if like all this. I mean, like if she this is the other
would
thing.
It be?
I mean, if she really wanted to do it, that's fine. But I think you have to think of the ACOTAR fans who are solely reading ACOTAR, nothing else, and for them to pick up. It goes back to like Shay was complaining a lot. I thought it was hysterical. She was complaining a lot in Queen of Shadows. For anyone who doesn't know this, there's a moment in Queen of Shadows that Elain references Ramel and talks about Rowan's ex. And for a lot of people, when they read that, they're like, who the hell is Ramel? What's going on? It's from a deleted scene in Empire of Storms. That's what it's from, that whole chapter. But for some people, it takes the moment out because they don't know what this is referencing. And it's got to be something like that for ACOTAR. Otherwise, your fans are going to be like, what the hell is going on in this series?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... I mean, I would love for more crossovers, but this is not.
I feel like most of her readers, well, I won't say most because that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of her readers don't want to read Crescent City just because it's so different from ACOTAR.
I wish like TV, like, you know how like on television you can like see like box office numbers. Like I would love to see the box office numbers for all three of her series to find out like who truly is dominating, because I would also love to see what the tick was in the past 3 years, because I would too. I know it's a lot bigger than they're willing to admit.
Yeah, I need them to account for the increase in pricing on hardbacks too. I want to know like what it actually was.
Yeah, I think there's like a whole situation, if I have to be honest. Okay, I would Briel BS. It would actually. I will say this.
Not happening.
To play devil's advocate, it would be a cool ship, but it's not legit. Like it just wouldn't. They already have mates. Like it just doesn't make sense. But like the two of them together would be very interesting. But he's already got his assigned ginger. He doesn't need another.
I can't see even if mates weren't in the picture. I cannot see those two characters together.
I cannot.
It would be like an Elain Rowan situation.
I don't. So here, I knew you were going to say that, and
Yeah.
I disagree, because I think it would be more of a Kaylina situation, because in a lot of ways, Bryce and Asriel are kind of like, they're different, but they're a little bit similar.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
Ooh,
Thanks.
yeah.
Good job.
Kaylina. God, I forgot about that.
Way to go.
Yeah.
OG pairing, honestly. Okay. Izzy, what's yours? What's your least favorite?
Okay, so my least favorite crack theory, half of it I dislike, and I'll explain. It is High Lady Elain and High Lord Asriel of the Dusk Court.
Why would
Now-
you do this to me?
Now,
Just Dusk? It's just
That was
Dusk,
a surprise.
right?
This wasn't
the Dusk Court.
discussed. This wasn't discussed in our little powwow, Izzy. You were bringing this one in.
Okay, because I've heard spring.
Well, okay, so Sarah
heard
is
this.
doing the one that I was going to do that I hate. But now, yeah, you've heard this, because I asked you, I was like, is there anything to sustain
And I
Elain
said, no.
being tied to the Dusk Court? And you said, like, maybe if but not really. I'll let you have Elain as a High Lady. Sure.
I
could see her being a
Yeah.
high lady
Yeah,
Of day,
course.
but keep going.
of day.
Day or
Uh-huh.
spring, you know.
I don't know.
Tamlin.
We know
But-
about Dusk's truth now, so I could see us learning about a Dusk Court. But what really gets me about this theory more than anything else is High Lord Asriel. I love that man. He is not a High Lord.
No, he's
He-
not.
That would be a fucking chaotic
No.
court. There would be everybody getting murdered all the time for like stealing, I don't know, like a pencil.
Give my baby some more credit than that.
You're right. No, you're right. Gwen would stop him. He is just not High Lord material. He is volatile. He is too emotional. No.
He likes to be, pun not intended, in the shadows. Like he doesn't.
He
wanna
likes to be in the shadows.
He doesn't want to be
It's
front and
true.
center.
He is a behind the scenes kind of guy. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to rule.
I don't think that
with
he.
the Lyrian problem. He's like, screw this. I want nothing to do with it.
Wait,
Like,
okay, but I'm a little confused. Okay, so Dusk Court. I'm gonna be honest. Avery, I know is like total. I know you're pretty game on Dusk Court.
Okay, but there are reasons.
I know. I'm not fully convinced, but also not surprising.
I'm-
to
How that turned out for you last time. when
I
you
would
were
like
fully
I would like to point out that I am Dusk Court, but I am not ill.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Hi, Lady Elaine.
Yeah.
we all went to Dusk Court.
Guys,
Dusk Court would be so cool.
literally mentioned in Silver Flames that there was an island that was always in dusk or twilight, that was the prison, that was an 8th court, that was where the High King ruled from. That is all mentioned in Silver Flames.
Mhm.
I think okay, this is the thing, and you guys know this.
She's like, I don't believe it. And then I'm just like,
No. It's not that I don't believe it. This is gonna sound bad, but I know this entire room doesn't like they know this already. I don't really care. So it's like one of those things that like I know everyone has these like intense theories about Dusk, and I'm like,
Tell us how you really
anyways,
feel.
so like,
I want
I like-
nothing more than the Dusk
be
Court to
honest.
be real.
listen, I like
didn't
you
say I
guys.
had to
I
come
let
through
you
somewhere.
guys spiral on Dusk. Like I'm like you guys can spiral on it. I just am like,
gonna
okay.
take
Anyways,
Listen, I love a good fucking sunset. So like a Dusk Court is like my
Here's the thing.
aesthetic. Okay.
there has to be a place where Queen Thea and Prince Peleus went through.
you're right.
The magic feels different in the prison to Nesta.
You're right.
Where did the Pegasus says?
Where the Pegasus is, we're thriving. There are people that have been eaten by the mountain. Elaine is the grower of things. Do not make me do this. Somebody mentioned the Three Sisters, Three Mountains theories in the comments, and I just don't have the mental capacity
Yeah.
to do that right now.
That's
Don't get her down that road.
That's the last thing I want to touch on is why I'm not I don't think Elaine is going to be High Lady of Dusk.
yeah.
I'm not going to say it's a crack idea that she would be, because if the Dusk Court is the 3rd mountain and she's the sister that's going to conquer the 3rd one, I see how you might get there.
Okay, but then there's the crack theory that we have High King Lulu and he rules from the Dusk Court.
Okay, yeah, we have to. Don't worry about it, Sarah.
Well,
We'll
there
get
are
into it
people,
another
there
night.
are people that think Nessian is gonna rule the Dusk Court too.
No,
Oh, for God's sake, Cassian doesn't want to be High Lord
Oh
anymore
my
than
God.
I do.
Exactly.
stop trying to make them High Lords.
Run into the same
They
problem.
don't
Like
care.
Cassian does not want to be.
This-
Do not care, but you
He-
know who would? Lucian. He's an emissary.
But Cassian would make a better High Lord. I'm not saying that I want him to be, but Cassian would make a much better High Lord than Azrael.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyone would make a
100%.
better High Lord than Asriel.
100%.
100%.
Okay.
So-
All right. Wow. Dusk Court. Yeah, we could have a whole live on it.
You don't need to. You don't
I
need
Maybe we
just-
should.
It's
We can literally call it from dusk till dawn, and we'll just stay up all night talking about.
Yes.
that sounds like a nightmare.
Let's do
Like,
like a lock-in.
regular Wednesday.
I'll be sleeping on camera.
Sarah,
That's
do
what
you
it'll turn
remember
into.
Lock-ins. We should do a lock-in live.
I
a
love lock-in.
what?
A
A
lock-in.
what?
A lock-in.
What the hell is that?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Okay, so we did one in my high school as our theater troupe, and we went to the Fine Arts Center and we stayed overnight all as a theater troupe in the Fine Arts Center with our teacher. And it's called a lock-in, and they lock all of the doors. And
They lock everybody in.
You sleep in an unconventional, very cool place with all your friends.
Yeah, it's like a big ass sleepover, basically.
Yeah, we
With, like, all your friends.
y'all grew up in the middle of nowhere. I have no
Sarah-
idea what
Sarah-
the hell
Nashville.
that
Say that, but you just wait until Hofast comes out. All
is.
right?
That's actually a great point.
Spoilers.
That's actually a great point. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I did not know what a lock-in was. Okay. Thank you for educating me.
I thought if anybody did, you would.
Take me back.
No.
man.
Okay, but we did kidnappings. Did you guys do that? Did you
I don't
do
ever
that?
want you to look at me like I'm weird ever again.
That's what I was saying.
No.
So when we were, a thing that people did was on your birthday, your friends would wake you up at 5 a.m. and kidnap you, and you would go out to brunch, and then everyone would go to school in their pajamas because it was like a sign that you got kidnapped by your friends. We did
Like,
do that.
They would wake you up at 5
Hold
a.m.
on, hold
and they would
on.
kidnap you.
Do you want me-
And then
I will-
they would brunch.
Can I tell you, it was like a coordinated thing. Like it became a thing that like
We had dress
you-
code. There was no showing up.
Oh,
in
see, we
pajamas.
didn't. I'm literally calling my mom to be like, "Is this an actual thing?" She will 100% vouch for this kidnapping thing.
Oh
Mom,
my god.
do you remember the kidnappings we would do in middle school?
You gotta be super specific with that one.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. What happened? What would happen?
They would show up at your house, like if you're sleeping, you'd have your pajamas on. I can't remember if it was at night or before school.
It was in the morning.
So they would take you with your pajamas on out to eat, right? Out to eat breakfast.
Yep.
And then you would go to school.
In your pajamas. And sometimes you would go in matching pajamas, and the birthday
Yes.
girl would always have like a crazy like
Yes.
outfit that indicated you were the kidnappee.
Yes. And welcome to Danville.
Mom.
And we grew up in the middle of
Nobody does
nowhere.
Yeah, I just judged them all because they were like, "Do you know what a lock-in is?" And I was like, "What the hell is a lock-in? Do you know what that is?"
No?
Okay, a lock-in is when they would all spend the night in like, okay, Avery used a great example. So it's like, you know,
So I was
she
in
can't hear
theater.
you. She can't hear you.
Okay. well,
So she was in theater, and so the idea was like all of the theater kids would spend the night in the theater, and they would
Uh-huh.
lock the doors with the teacher, and they would spend the night.
Okay,
Mhm.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
As a teacher. But
It
the
was
kids
a
were
lot of
around it.
fun, Mama Rose.
Did you hear her? She's like, as a teacher, no, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
guess
a lot of
you're like,
convincing.
I don't want to do this. But as a
It's
kid,
a
lot of
it's
That
fun.
was fun. But yeah, kind of the reverse, huh?
Yeah. So, fun fact, there was a girl that I kidnapped for her birthday, and her
Yeah.
family, when you walked into the house, they had
Yeah.
stuffed llamas at the stairs, fancy stuffed llamas, like
Yeah.
life-size actual stuffed. I'm not
Uh-huh.
exaggerating, and you know who I'm talking about. And it was a big deal. She was the only girl we ever kidnapped where like she yelled at us because she had to spend 30 minutes on her hair, and we were like,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
yeah, okay. Anyways, bye.
Okay.
That
So
sounds like some major sorority. Like
it kind of was. Yeah, it kind of was. Okay.
sorority vibes.
Anyways, all right. My least favorite theory
Oh,
is true mates and the caranam bond. If I hear someone on TikTok say the word true mates, I not only scroll, but I don't block them, but I will physically hit the not interested button because it's not a thing, people. It's not a thing. And let me explain why. Because I don't know who came up with this theory, but it drives me nuts. And the caranam bond is related to this.
you know who came up with it.
Yeah, exactly. So true mates. True mates is mentioned in HOSAB, obviously. But let's explain. Let's go back and get an idea of why it was mentioned in HOSAB. Okay. It was mentioned in HOSAB because Hunt and Bryce are two different species. Hunt's an angel, Bryce is a fae. And they mentioned that mating bonds are different for different species. However, Bryce mentions that with the fae, a lot of them will say the word mates. However, some people will have like a true mating bond. So Rune uses the phrase true mates, and he uses it too because Bryce and Hunt are different species, and so they are mates. They want to know, what does your mug say?
It says world's greatest assistant mayor, but dad is at the bottom and it's scratched out. I don't know what it is. My roommates have it.
I love it. It's a great mug.
Thank you. I just like being a great dad.
Yeah, you are a great dad. Anyways, so people have latched on to this like true mates thing, and it's like not a thing. It's like it's a thing in sense of like, if you know, Faceland is their true mates, or like Elain are true mates, but like it's not a thing as in like the mating bond paired you together, and then it's like, oh, but there's true mates in the corner. Like that's not real. L reels, not real. Okay. I've tried to say multiple times to people who are L reel fans, like there's nothing wrong with shipping L reel, but the reality is what makes that pairing so fascinating is the fact that they aren't mates. It's the fact that the potential of them would be a chosen, rejected mating pair. It is not a true mate situation. That's crap. Okay. That doesn't exist. It is just, they would just be chosen they would just choose to be together. Okay, that's what it is. That's what makes them so interesting. Okay, it has nothing to do with they're never gonna be mates. Never, ever, ever. Okay, and it's the same thing with like people will say things like Briel, they're true mates. It's not. No, Bryce already has a mate. That's even funnier because Rune calls Bryce and Hunt true mates. Like that's the only time it's an actual legitimate thing.
The argument is actually not true mates between them, but that's her Prithian mate.
Okay, that's a joke.
Oh, for the love of God.
And he's her Lunathion. Yeah. So
okay. The other thing, if you read, if you pay attention, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, I'm just saying like if you pay attention between the two different mating bonds in Throne of Glass.
That's expecting a lot.
Yeah, I know. In Throne of Glass and ACOTAR, there is a very clear difference. I would consider the Throne of Glass mating bond like soulmates. Okay, like these are predestined. Not the cauldron, but the idea is like, you know, the gods. The mother picked your mate. I mean, Maeve alludes this in Empire of Storms. Like, you know, that's how she knew when she saw Rowan, like that was going to be Aelin's mate before Aelin was even born. Like, okay. Then the Perithian mates, they're more for breeding purposes. At least from what we have been indicated right now, but we don't.
That's what Rhys says.
Yeah, it's what Rhys says.
That's the only explanation we've been given by Rhys in ACMA.
Yes. Yeah. So there is a difference between the two. And I would say what Bryce and Hunt had in Sky and Breath was more similar to the Throne of Glass side than the ACOTAR side. And I think that has to do with some of the mixed breeding that's going on with Hunt, not necessarily with Bryce.
I will say in Prithian it is kind of confusing because we do hear like that it's a lot about breeding, like mating bonds. They're mating bonds that don't fit very well. But then you also have that soulmate aspect of the mating, like Feyre and Rhys and Nesta and Cassian, you know, like where they're bonded on a whole nother level. It's not just about breeding. So
100%.
It is like it's a gray area with 100%. That one.
Yeah, I would agree.
But the purpose of the cauldron blessing is for the Fae who have notoriously difficult pregnancies to pair up with the person who is their match, the strongest person to help continue.
Who's going to make the best offspring, basically.
That is the cauldron blessed situation.
Yeah. And at this point in the series, we have not seen an LGBTQ mating pair in ACOTAR, but we have seen one in Throne of Glass. Not to say that it's not happened in ACOTAR. Very well could be. We just haven't seen it. But that is another thing that indicates the breeding purpose side. But there has been a lot of heavily mentioned things about rejected mating pairs as well. So people may, you know, if someone leans a certain way, it's possible that, you know, they want to, there's a rejecting situation.
And that falls into something I'm going to talk about later.
Yeah. So I just want to say that like there are some gray areas. Everything is not fully explained to us. But that is kind of the situation. The TikTok put my For You page down an El Real rabbit hole fully against my will. Now my head is spinning about how hard people are going for it. I think, okay, caranam bond. So I've already written a 6-page document on this. You can go in the Discord. It's literally in there. And I did it in 15 minutes for anyone who was wondering, because I was so sick and tired of hearing this. The caranam bond, if you remember, this is a Throne of Glass thing. Rowan gives a big explanation of it in Air of Fire. It is a power thing. So it has to do with that you find your match with power. And when you guys touch from blood to blood in your hands, you can transfer your powers, but your magic will always appear as your magic. So when Elain and Rowan do it, Aelin's magic is still fire, Rowan's magic is still ice. It's that type of a thing. It's just dipping into someone's
sharing of power.
Yeah. I was like this too. When I read Sky and Breath and they were in the Bone Quarter, I, for a hot second, was like, is this a caranam bond? Because this feels like a caranam bond. And then I realized very quickly it wasn't, because she ended up doing the same thing with Hypexia. And then I think we see her do it with one other person. And then we see her do it with another person when they're at the very, very end. So they are not caranam. Bryce and Hunt are not caranam. And there's a few reasons. Number one, some people are mixing up the caranam bond with the mating bond. I know that's confusing with Rowan and Aelin, but there is a difference between the two. The second thing is there is never a blood transfer between Hunt and Bryce. It is always a power transfer, because Bryce is a literal conduit. So anyone can charge Bryce up and then she can go crazy. Whereas with the caranam bond, it's very specific. I know someone is going to come in the comments and mention Dorian. So hold on a second. Dorian has raw magic.
Just really quick. Bryce can be powered up by anybody with energy power.
Yes, thank you. Dorian has raw magic. So he's a little bit of a wild card, because I know Aelin and Dorian use some magic, and then Irene and Dorian. So I would love to ask Sarah if that's a caranam thing, but I would say no, I think that's a Dorian thing. I think that's just a Dorian situation. So
yeah. And to add to that, Sarah, I have seen someone, so similar to like the soulmates aspect and the mating bond aspect, I've seen people argue, well, maybe caranam, like the mating bond, is different in different worlds.
No.
But when you have Bryce reacting that way with multiple people, caranam is not like that.
Yeah.
Caranam is with one person.
Yeah.
And we saw Bryce be able to pull power from multiple people.
Yeah. And I think it's the same thing with Dorian. Dorian has raw magic, and I think a lot of rules just go out the window for him. And so when we see him do it with Aelin, I think there's a few reasons why that one worked. One being that they're both from Elena and from the Galathinius Brandon line. And then the second thing I think is just, I don't know, he's got raw magic, and so there's an exception for him, like there is for most things. And
it wouldn't surprise me if, even though he can do it with multiple people, Dorian and Irene are caranam though.
Yeah, because then there's the argument about Dorian and Irene, and so
you can't just yeet a person out of existence without there being some power behind it.
Yeah, no. Well, and it's always so confusing, like, what Irene's power level is, and I'm like, she's very powerful. Like, she definitely has. Yeah, she's definitely got power. So,
but also part of her power is being used to keep Kale alive. So
yeah, exactly.
A lot going on there.
But yeah,
she's hella powerful. Y'all be scared.
Reserve, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I guess
he taps into raw magic, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I think it's just my problem is I know people fall quicker down the ACOTAR rabbit hole because it's fun, it's sexy, it has an incredible storyline. It has, there's a lot there, and it's not as many books as Throne of Glass. So people just assume from words from Throne of Glass, it's like, oh, it's this, and then they just move on. And I'm like, no. You have to do the same research you do in ACOTAR in Throne of Glass. There's more books, so you have to understand that you can't just go around and say that it's a caranam bond when it's not. But I would love to see a caranam bond with someone else. Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know who it would be.
I think it'd be cool.
More Emery.
I would love.
Ooh.
What'd you say?
I said more Emery.
That would be fun.
Yes.
Because we don't know what the power of truth is yet. We still don't know.
We still don't know.
Somebody
Or the
carried
mystery.
with Feyre just because of the sheer amount of different powers she has. Like amping those up might be fun.
I hope it's Tarquin so that Reese gets super mad.
I kind of love
It's
that.
so jealous. He's like, of course.
It's like, great, no, cool, do your power thing. I don't care.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
like spew your water everywhere. It's fine.
That's so cool that you
Like,
guys can do the water thing.
if I care. Oh, you know.
Want to see
Ocean
this
of
thing
the
my
ocean,
wings
you
can
know,
do?
like,
I can make
super
them
cool.
go away.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I get you more wet than Tarquin, so like, it's fine.
He would.
You want to see how long my talons get?
Yeah. He totally would. Okay, I'm gonna go through the top top one. I think the second one is actually one that Izzy wants to bring up. The next one, the top thing from Slido. So Elain's visions in Akawar are about Sophie, not Vasa.
Whoa.
Wait. I'm trying to
Okay,
remember what
Okay, I
visions.
actually forgot who Sophie was for a second. I
Wait,
was like,
Oh,
Wait, which visions? Because she had a few. It's not the ravens.
I think she's talking about the bird of fire.
oh.
Talking about a bird of fire.
Oh,
And she's the Thunderbird.
Oh, I'm gonna have fun with this.
That one's actually one I kind of want to look into.
Taylor, we can have a spiral session later.
Okay.
Sarah, that second one, I'm not going to talk about that second one.
Okay,
I chose
okay.
something else.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. No, but because okay, listen, I'm gonna have to look up what Elaine's whole prophecy was.
Yeah, I think Avery's making a note.
I think it wasn't it just that there was a firebird.
I'd have to.
I
look at
forget what it was. It was
No,
like
it was
talking
something about her in relation to the death god, I believe.
Yeah. A bird of fire. I know it's like something about a bird of fire. That's all I remember.
Because I remember this is what made Lucian go. Right? This is the thing that
we
made
know-
Lucian leave.
Hold on, I'm just
Where-
gonna pull it up.
where in Akawar that was.
It was
It
in the
won't take me
beginning.
long to
It was
find
it was near the beginning because this is what made if this is the thing I'm thinking of. This is what made Lucian say like I can be helpful, I'm going to go.
right.
Like
he went on the search. That's when he went on the
Poor
search.
Lucian.
Yeah.
Lucian's
Yeah.
like, get me out of here.
So Lucian's like, I just gotta do something for my mate.
Okay. This one, I also want to tag on the one that I like more than Darling. So the next one was Reese's last name is Darling. I'm also going to add that Reese's last name is Moonbeam because I want it to be Moonbeam so bad. And I know it's not, but like, I want it to be Moonbeam.
No, it's
What
it's Danon. Come on.
Danon, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
Danon.
Okay, but on the Darling thing, I want to say something positive about it. Here's one of the things I like about it. Not just
Okay.
at the Feyre Darling thing.
Okay.
That's cool. But I've heard Akamath pitched as not just as a Hades and Persephone, but also as like a Peter Pan retelling, where Valaris is Neverland and the Inner Circle are the Lost Boys.
Oh God, this is really leaning into the Darling.
Morrigan is like Tinkerbell.
Does that make Reese and Peter Pan?
Yes.
Yes, it does. It does.
And favorite city.
And Wendy's name is Wendy Darling. Like Wendy Darling is her name, and he calls her Feyre Darling. So people were like, "It's Peter Pan."
Jesus.
But as a huge Peter Pan, like the thing that got me into fairies was Peter Pan and Thumbelina.
No,
I
honestly,
can
like
appreciate
I fucking love Peter Pan. Like the story of
same.
Peter Pan, I love that story. It was
Not like child Izzy watching Peter Pan on a loop, wondering why she likes Tinkerbell looking at her butt in the mirror so much, and being like, "This is normal, right?"
like Jeremy Sumpter was like,
Don't get me
Oh my
started on that
God.
adaptation.
Oh my
That
God.
man.
I cried to my mother because I was
Have
like,
you guys-
"Oh, we're gonna meet Jeremy Sumpter."
Have you guys seen him? Because
I guess
Yeah, well, now we're
wait, I
fine.
guess Tinkerbell would be what, Amryn?
no, Morrigan is what people have said.
No.
Sassy, curvy, blonde friend who is Peter's second in command. So I can appreciate
Oh,
the
there we go.
parallel
There we
to
go.
him.
Thank you. I can hear the sea even at night, even in my dreams, the crashing sea, the screams of a bird made of fire. Will I hear the earthworms writhing through the soil or the stretch of roots? Will the bird of fire come to sit in the trees and watch me? That's 100% Vasa.
Okay,
Yeah.
It is. We know it's Vasa because she didn't start getting these crossover ideas until she started writing Silver Flames. But
Mm-mm.
Well,
Is
it's
it
before
Mm-mm.
that.
Nope.
Before
or,
that.
I'm sorry, Crescent City 1. Sorry.
Uh-uh.
Yes, it's when
Queen
she
of
started laying
Shadows.
out the groundwork.
Queen of Shadows. Queen of Shadows.
That's not what she said in her interview, though.
Yeah, well, she's lying because she came up with the idea of Queen of Shadows. She came up with the idea with Crescent City.
Okay, maybe
when
she
was on
came up with the
tour.
idea, but she didn't start like really laying the groundwork.
No,
She
but there are breadcrumbs to that hope in Queen of, starting from Queen of Shadows on.
But it says, I can hear the sea, even at night. And think about the prologue. It was literally at night.
Right.
Ocean. So like I can see where people
Yeah, no, it's like
I think
100% like I can see. You know what? It would have been a really cool idea if there was maybe like, because, okay, this is the one thing I would say. I feel like if Elain had a vision of Sophie, it would have included something modern that would have confused Elain. She would have been like, why are there lights on a ship? Or, like there would have been something hinted at electricity or like a motor or something. And the fact that none of that is hinted, like it just...
Well, also, Sophie is very specifically a thunder bird, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, but if you think about like a real Thunderbird, like that's actually based off of, that's probably where they got that, because Thunderbird.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. Oh, someone said, are we going to discuss everything in Slido? No. So for instance, the thing that is top right now, we're not discussing that because that's an actual legitimate theory. So we won't be discussing
Somebody's
that.
asked if the Peter Pan theory makes the cauldron the crocodile, and now I want to die.
Yeah, and then I said that makes Tamlin the dog, Nana, that keeps trying to bring them back home.
That's kind of amazing, honestly.
Thank you.
Okay, we talked about the things that we hate. Let me think. What was the other thing? Someone else said something else.
I wanted to discuss the Cassian dying thing.
I know. Moonbeam. Oh yeah. Listen. I want it to be Moonbeam. I just want to quickly explain why some of us think this. I didn't come up with this, by the way. Fenris can winnow, obviously. And so a lot of us think that he potentially... Well, before Hosap came out, we were like, oh, he could be from Prithian. Like a lot of people thought Lorcan was from Prithian. And and Reese always says that his last name is embarrassing. He said that his last name was embarrassing, like he didn't want to discuss it. And there was like Sarah has laughed that like his last name's kind of funny. So I would love it to be Moonbeam, even though I don't think that's what it is. But Rhysand Moonbeam has a good ring to it.
Oh, good lord.
Nyx Moonbeam. Honestly, that's kind of a bomb name.
Rhysand Moonbeam.
Nyx Moonbeam is kind of a bomb name. Like,
It is. No, undoubtedly.
Just
I think
saying.
I'm
Better than Reese.
forever.
Moonbeam.
Feyre Moonbeam. Like it's... Listen, everyone's name looks good together.
Moonbeam's just a great last name. Let's all admit it.
Yeah, it is. But I can understand why it's embarrassing. So I just wanted to quickly explain that. Some people are
Yeah,
like,
High Lord of the Night Court, Moonbeam.
Fenris.
Yeah.
Fenris is my main Moonbeam, though. He's the main Moonbeam.
Everybody.
Okay, theories we want to discuss. Avery, you want to go first?
Sure. There's a theory that goes around on TikTok that I yell about a lot, that Cassian is gonna die in one of the next books. And that is because of what Elain says when he says it would take more than that to kill me, and she says, no, you won't. No, it won't. It's already happened. It already happened. Nesta and Cassian were going to die. The King of Hybern was going to kill them. And then Elain changed the situation because she was able to see the future and she didn't want her sister to die or her sister's mate to die. So she saved them. And we can't just keep forgetting that Elain saved Nesta and Cassian and stabbed the King of Hybern in the neck.
Let's also, Avery, let's not forget, you know me, I get meta with this shit.
I know.
Cassian's paired up with somebody. He's going to be fine. Sarah J. Maas isn't going to kill somebody who's paired up.
Yeah.
She also said she would not do that.
Devastating of a story to write. A mate losing their
She has said that she will not write anything that sad. And no, Cassian's not going to die.
She'll write whatever the heck she has in store for Rune, but she won't write that.
Oh God.
I'm telling you, the hair is gone.
Stop.
Listen, the worst has already happened. I told Sarah, and she got it made.
She already cut Hunt's hair. She's not gonna cut Ruth.
I think Sarah is just like really into it now because she knows that means she gets to look up pine or snow.
Yeah.
By the
But
way,
she's
for
not
anyone,
going to because it's not going to happen because Hunt's hair was already cut.
by the way, I went through Slido and removed all of the actual legitimate theory questions. So if your
okay.
question was removed, it's because it was a legitimate theory. We're not discussing it tonight, just in case anyone's wondering. Yeah, no. No.
Sorry. I just read the top one and I just laughed. So.
I have some fun ones about him.
God.
Yeah.
Cassian's not gonna die. That's all.
No, he's not. He's not. But a lot of people are. I swear that one is going to go rampant until the series is completely ended because no one is going to believe that.
Stop trying to kill my baby.
It's not just your baby; he's mine too. I'm the Nesta in this friendship here.
He's my number one book boyfriend. Stop it.
But I'm with you. Like I don't want him to die.
Nobody wants him to die. Nobody sane wants him to die.
Yeah, no, he's not dying. First off, I don't think Sarah wants to. She's not going to kill a single bat boy. She's just not.
No.
She couldn't kill Amryn. She's not going to kill a bat boy.
Yeah, well, I think
they will be literally the last men on earth.
I think
Everyone
we
else
now
will
know
die, and the
why
bad
she
boys
didn't.
will thrive.
I think we now know why she didn't kill Amryn. But
That's true.
Fair.
Yeah, there was a purpose. There was definitely a purpose.
I've been yelling. I've been like, there is no point to Amryn. Why? There's a point now. She has a point.
Yeah, we were like screaming it on lives for a very long time. You and me both.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay. Taylor, what do you got?
Ones I want to discuss.
Yeah, the one you want to discuss.
I want to talk about Evil Elain.
My favorite.
Oh, good Lord.
I love the theory of Evil Elain.
What do you like? What specifically? Like, do you think she'll actually go evil, or do you think it's more like, is that what you like about it?
I mean, I just really like. I'm drawn towards like dark villain arc. So like, especially when it's like the person that you just don't suspect. Like it's always like the sweet innocent one. Like it would just be a really, really good twist.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there's not enough evidence to really truly back this theory, but there were some breadcrumbs in Silver Flames that had me going, okay.
I mean, I would argue that there is evidence.
Yeah, even like that, if she's not like going evil, like herself, like, you know, she's doing this of her own accord. Like, there's definitely breadcrumbs that potentially she is being manipulated or controlled in some aspect.
Yeah,
like, you know, but I just
we'll talk about that.
I love like how she's like, because we started to see her getting like a little bit of a backbone in Silver Flames. She's tired of being coddled. Like, I just want. And I have this crazy vision. It's not going to happen. But I just have this crazy cool vision of Elain literally just like walking on this battlefield. And there's freaking flowers everywhere. And the flowers are just wilting. And she's just like making them all wilt. And I'm just like, please, God, give me
Isabella.
I'm kind of obsessed with that.
I love that.
Like, just imagine her, like, literally, like, all the flowers just turn black. And then
and here's the thing.
She's just like,
that's amazing.
Like, oh, she just, like, looks so hot in her, like, black. Like, God. It doesn't have to be black since she doesn't apparently look that good in black. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
if we're so dead set on her being related to roses, I mean, Briar, Rose, Sleeping Beauty, Mind Control.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think we all agree that there is more to Elain than meets the eye.
100%.
And we don't know her full story, and so that's why I find it so funny when people cling onto her and they're like, "Oh, she has such a great personality." No, she doesn't. She doesn't. And
not yet.
And that is kind of the point, is that we don't know what her personality is. So when we do get her story, we do get her full personality.
Sarah J. Maas literally had the person who loves her probably the most, call her boring.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even Reese is like, maybe she felt like if she wasn't the way that she was going to disappoint everybody.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to her. In order to do gardening, you have to get your hands dirty.
She's she's the middle child, and
Yeah.
the middle child tends to be the peacemaker. And so she naturally has to be more of the, she can't come in, ready for an army. Like or you know what I'm trying to say. She can't come in arm swinging, because Feyre and Nesta were always at each other's throat. So it's like she had to be the good middle child. And I think a big indication for me was the gloves. Like, Lucian gave her gloves so she couldn't hurt herself, and she never wore them. And I was like, so she likes to get dirty. She likes to feel like work. Like, she is a hard worker. She is.
Yeah.
There are small indications as to, and I think it's a good point. Some people have brought up the fact that throughout all of Silver Flames, we never saw her once have a vision. There was no indication if she's even been able to have a vision.
And now, with the resolution of Silver Flames, you're not going to have as much animosity between Feyre and Nesta. They're still going to fight. They're still sisters.
But just like how crazy of an impact would that have on so many people if she were to it would have a crazy impact on Nesta, Feyre, Lucian, I mean everybody. And honestly, I really didn't think about it until we got to that part in Silver Flames where Nesta's talking to Briel, and Briel indicates hints that there is a potential spy in the Night Court. And I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking about all the times where people said Elain was sneaky and sneaking up on people. Yeah. Suspect, and I'm like,
I think it would be really cool if she was actually evil, and it was, that she was, instead of doing the Nesta thing, which the Nesta thing was to just come out kicking and screaming and telling everyone how much she hates it, but to do the Elain thing, which is just to hate it as much as Nesta did, but to make everyone's life a living hell behind the scenes and no one know. Yeah.
And honestly, this doesn't stem from any dislike of Elain, nothing. Honestly, if I feel if this were to happen with Elain, she would honestly become my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
I think it would be so cool.
Based on what Sarah just said, how Nesta comes out kicking and screaming, and then Elain comes out and she makes everybody's life hell behind the scenes. Let's think about that in the context of how they both came out of the cauldron. Yeah. Nesta came out kicking and screaming. Elain came out, was completely cathartic, and her catharsis ruined everyone else because they were so worried about her.
Right.
Oh, and Avery, who was the first person to talk to her after she came out of the cauldron?
Lucian.
And that fits into what we've been saying forever, which would be if she went evil, Lucian, that could be the start of her thing with Lucian.
And I'm telling you, this is how Helion's going to get involved, because if she's somehow connected to Koschei, they're going to pull those books.
Breaker.
Yeah, they're going to pull them out of his library, and then that is how this whole thing is going to be revealed.
You've got Cursebreaker, you've got Spellcleaver, you've got all kinds of things. Come on, let's get him involved.
Yeah. And it's
and originally, I was thinking potentially okay, if Elain were going to be controlled, if she were going to go evil,
right?
How would that happen? And at first I was thinking the crown, right? Because the crown you can control other people with the crown. But I think it was Jensen that sent me this earlier today. And it was literally a moment from Vasa talking about how Koschei controls people by whispering things on the wind. He can literally just manipulate people that are far away. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, someone with seer powers that's connected to the cauldron could hear something like that.
Yeah. And I don't buy that she hasn't had a single vision. She's had at least one, and she's just not telling everyone.
And then the whispering on the wind obviously connects to Meryl and the fact that she is descended from the Lord of Western Winds.
It also connects to the Bone Carver. The Bone Carver said, "Don't you hear what the winds are saying about Nesta?" There's lots of connections to a lot of it. And someone said, "Does anyone know what Elain wants?" No, that's kind of the point. No one. Right. But the only thing we know is that she doesn't want to be bonded to Lucian right now. That's the only thing we know.
We do know that she would like a quiet life. She tells Nesta that she can't resent her desire to have a quiet life while also, demanding more of her. So
okay.
Yeah, that's really all we know.
So two things.
One thing that we saw in Silver Flames was that, and honestly, it could just be Elain just wanting to be a part of something, and feel like she's helping and she's doing something. But Elain offering to scry
out of nowhere,
the dread trove out of nowhere
for someone who hasn't had a vision in forever.
Okay, but let's also just remember in Silver Flames that Feyre did ask her.
Yeah.
No, right. No, I know that.
Before.
Huh?
No. She asked.
Before
Like
she offered.
Feyre had a conversation with her before she offered to scry.
Yeah. So I mean, Elain is I think we all would agree that some people are very attached to Elain, and I think they're attached to Elain for the wrong reasons. And their entire world is going to be shattered when they discover that part of the appeal of Elain is the same appeal of Iliad for people, which is that she is this quiet, meek person, but the minute you get her point of view, you realize how smart and cunning and how she's manipulating everyone around her to do her bidding. And the best way to do that is to appear not intimidating.
Well, and Feyre says canonically that Elain was a socialite, essentially.
Yeah.
She was like the star of every party, and you have to be charming to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I sent you guys this TikTok, and I actually really like the theory because it's not something I've ever thought about before. And it was that we don't know really the aspect of Elaine's powers, what the cauldron gave her.
Yeah.
We know the cauldron liked her.
Yeah.
So the theory was that the cauldron bestowed the power of influence on her because, like, it's always said that Elaine could talk people into anything, and she has this way with people. And it's like, what if that's amplified from something that she got from the cauldron? She's literally able to, like, keep people not suspicious of her. I mean, that would just be really, it's a crack theory, but I think it'd be really cool,
Right.
you know?
Someone brought up, it was something we were going to discuss, and I'm just going to bring it up casually, about Azriel's shadows hide behind Elaine. So my favorite thing is people will say that I've seen people say online that Az's shadows are a crutch for his insecurities. Which no. They literally, they're like a gift. Like his
Don't
shadows.
talk about my shadows. Like,
yeah, his shadows, I would say his shadows are the best indication of his true intentions and other things. I think Reese would probably agree with that. I think
they have his best interests at heart and are always going to be trying to get him to do what they think he should do.
Yeah.
We see them urge
companion.
Yes.
Like, really saved him from a really dark place.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not evil. He's mentioned that quite a few times. And
then all through the bonus chapter, they're telling him to get some rest, and that's hardly the thoughts of a malevolent presence.
Yeah.
Get your 8 hours, sweetie.
I will say a lot of people in the comments are talking about Elaine is a lot like Wanda, and I would agree. I would say that's
I like that.
Genius. It's not spoilers. Did you watch WandaVision?
Yeah,
like that.
I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen. I
haven't seen
I like that comparison. I'm here for that.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one. It's the same thing we've all been talking about. Someone who manipulates a situation to get what they want, but there's no bad intentions around it. They just are doing it in the wrong way.
Listen, I know everyone sorts Elaine into a Hufflepuff. When I tell you she is a Slytherin, I know it. I know
or she's a Ravenclaw, just someone who's extremely smart, who knows how to. Because I don't know if she's as cunning as like Slytherins are literally like they're like Aelins and Reeses and like they're people who
Cassian's a Hufflepuff.
That's what she wants you to think. It's all
right, which is why it would be more like she. I don't know if she's like out actively. That would reveal too much of her. That she wants the world to know. She would
a Hufflepuff with Gryffindor tendencies.
Yeah. So. Anyways, Izzy, what's the thing you wanted to discuss?
Yes, I would like to discuss this theory that Azriel's mate is Rhysand's deceased sister. I do not believe this theory is true. I don't hate it.
No.
I know you do. I don't hate it.
I hate it so much.
If I hate a theory, I don't look into it at all. If I disagree with the theory, I'll look into it, I still qualify it as something that I like. So I was looking into why people would think this, and it's actually kind of interesting why people would think this. So Azriel, there's only one thing I could find that made it seem like maybe they had something, like maybe he had a mate previously. And that is in Akasif, where he tells Cassian he would know if Nesta was dead. He would feel it right here. And a lot of people are like, how do you know? I think it goes down to probably he's like talked to Elaine or Rhys.
He's
or
literally
anybody else.
like the most observant character. He probably just knows.
He probably just knows.
He's probably seen Rhys react to certain things. You know, like it's not.
I think it could have been a legitimate theory if
Yeah.
Sarah has clearly said in lives multiple times that like his sister is dead, she doesn't want to talk about it, and let's move on. Like, and
Yeah.
then
So
we met Gwen.
a lot of people have said that Sarah's refusal to elaborate more on Rhys and sister is
Jesus.
because she's going to reveal in Asriel's book that was his mate, and then that's how we're going to get the two mates thing in Avatar.
Okay. I can buy Rhys and sister and Asriel having a like relationship
Connection.
or like a connection
Yeah.
or like a really strong friendship or any of those kinds of things. I know I've like when I've broken down like Elain versus Asriel and that whole breakdown that I've done, like I've compared Sam to
Yeah.
There's no indication of that. That's a total
there's no legitimate canonical indication of it.
No, literally. So, like I said, I did research on the theory. Really, the only basis comes from, ooh, that would be neat. Sarah hasn't talked about it. And how did Asriel know what it felt like to lose somebody during the mating bond situation?
Well, you know, stemming off of the Rhys's sister thing, there is another crack theory about Rhys's sister still being alive and being Rune Dannon's mother.
I was actually
For God's sake.
Okay, so I was talking to Mystical
Oh
Blaze
my
about this,
God.
and people also have speculated that Rhys's sister is still alive and is stuck in another dimension, in Midgard. And basically, she was decapitated, so they couldn't identify her body. No body, no crime. She's alive.
Dear,
I heard it was part of like a glamour because she had like literally
literally, Tamlin's father had his mother's and sister's wings in the house.
Yeah, but are they really their
Or
wings?
Avery, was it just another person's body that
Was it just another person?
I can't.
Listen.
Also, Liv Rose in the comments, we do not know the age of Rhys's sister. when
Okay,
she
I
passed.
just want to quickly show this. This is not legitimate. You guys won't be able to see this. You guys have seen this before. This is not like, I'm pretty sure Avery and I have already seen some flaws in this, but I just want to show it as an example because I think this is important to show, to clarify to people who constantly bring up that there is direct connections between Rhys and Rune. And there is some, but not all the way. Okay, let me just show you. Okay, this is a timeline. I made this in like 15 minutes. Okay, like this is not, don't think this is like actually legitimate. Okay, so, but it is very close to the truth. Thea, Prince Peleus, High King of Prythian. Okay, before the book started, that's most likely the first thing that happened. Okay, then the Asteri and Hel fight for Midgard. Okay, thousands of years pass. Thousands of years. Then the next big event is most likely the Demon Wars with Maeve in Throne of Glass. Okay, then a few hundred years pass, and then the war with Hybern and Rhys is captured. This is closer to the timeline in which Rhys's sister died. So just to put it into context, these Fae and these Fae, by the time Rhys is born, it's like Dorian and Elain. Like, there's quite a few generational skips between them. So they're not direct descendants, but they are related, like how a lot of people who come from the same location look alike.
I wish they could see all the hand gestures you're doing right now.
I know. They can't see,
Oh my
they can't see
God.
any of us right now.
Yeah. So I just want to say, I like was going like this a lot. So I just want to say
Scarlet
that
Witch.
like, yeah, right. That's basically what I'm like when I talk.
Now
So-
you take it down.
So I just want to say, by the way, that timeline's on Discord. So if anyone's welcome to look at it, and also like a very ugly family tree of like Rhys and Rune, just to explain how, like, I mean, honestly, if anyone asks you, like, is Rhys and Rune related? Yes, they are related in the same way that Dorian and Elain are related.
They're so distantly related.
Yeah, it's like, and that includes Rhys's father. That includes Rune's mother and father. Like, and I mean, that's a whole other topic. Anyways, but what I'm just trying to say is when people say, it's another thing that drives me nuts when people say like, oh, direct descendants, or no, there's thousands of years that have passed. Thousands. So they look alike, yes, but they're not. Like if they took a DNA test, it would be like 26th cousin removed, twice removed, blah, blah, blah. Like that's what it would be.
So can I ask you guys something? So this is just a crack theory that I've heard. I just thought of it based on what we were talking about. So what do you guys think about the theory that so since the Star Sword and Truth Teller are connected, and only the Starborn can wield the Star Sword.
Oh God, no, no.
I hate you. This is not your theory.
It's not my theory. I just want to know.
No,
what you
no,
guys
no,
think. I don't like
no,
where you're going.
No, because I
don't like where you're going with this.
No, because you know who else touched that sword?
Nesta.
Hunt.
Oh, Hunt and Nesta.
Elaine.
Maybe everyone's just Starborn and it's not that rare. Maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, no.
It's not that cool, guys.
Okay, you could maybe be Starborn, but not heir to the Starborn Fae. She's still like a big deal.
No. Elaine's not that special, okay? She's not. She's special, but she's not that special.
What makes Elaine special is that she's not special.
Yeah, exactly. Like
everybody else.
No, I'm just saying the Cauldron made people.
Great, the Cauldron loves her, but didn't make her be able to hold a fucking dagger. Like, Jesus, it's fine. It's a dagger. Didn't Moore hold the dagger at one point? Like, oh my God.
Maybe Moore is Thea's, distant relative or something.
No.
For God's sake.
No.
Okay, Sarah Gomez.
Yeah.
In the chat, the theory, if you want to know more about it, it's that Elaine is Starborn. You can find a lot about it on Tumblr.
Yeah, just type in the hashtag Elreal.
I will not be participating.
But just know, like, when you type in the hashtag Elreal on Tumblr, it's a bunch of very desperate, lonely people. I just want you to know that. What? It's true.
You might have had a little bit more wine than you anticipated.
You know what? If they say one more negative thing about me, I can say something negative about them.
I do need to replenish, just FYI. I need to replenish my
let me tell you, the person who just, hold on, the person that just asked about the Three Sisters, Three Mountains, it's pinned in your channel, right?
Yes.
It's pinned in Avery's channel. You can go watch the video.
It's the third video over. It's got like 100,000 views.
Yeah.
Go.
Let me clarify.
What have you done?
Let me clarify.
Drink really quickly.
Yeah, go get one.
Get another drink.
Let me just quickly clarify before I get totally yelled at. This clip's already going to be on Tumblr. It's fine.
Don't talk about fun stuff without me.
Leave me alone.
I was just going to say that it's not every it's not every Elreal, okay? However, the most active,
not all Elreals.
I like to
about the Elreals without me.
Okay, I like to call them evil Elreals because they love that theory so much. Sarcasm. There's just a few that are very choice. They keep calling me the TikTok lady or the Gwynreal lady, which is
not true.
Hysterical, honestly.
Okay, can I explain real quick? Sarah is a Gwynreal in the same way that the mom who brings the orange slices to the soccer game is the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If anybody should be the TikTok lady about Gwynreal, it should be me. I have a whole fucking timeline.
Yeah, how do I
get missed? I think there's
no. Book Talk has dubbed me, you, and Taylor the three queens of Gwynreal. I've been called it by 4 different users.
Here's the thing. I am not bestowed upon Elreal Twitter or Tumblr, and I'm honestly a little upset about it. I think I scared them.
They don't want to argue with you.
It's not that you scare them. It's that they just have other things to talk. You haven't done something that offended them so much yet. Apparently, I offended them by calling them desperate and delusional, which apparently,
as if that's not like 2 really negative things.
Which let me explain. It's not. I want to keep reiterating. I was an Elreal. Okay, I was an Elreal. Okay, if you go back and you watch my Frost and Starlight reaction videos, I literally was shipping Elreal like crazy. Okay, so there's literally videos. Okay, However, there is nothing wrong. You have to be logistic. Like, you have to be logical about your ship. Your ship is not a mated pair. It's a rejected mating bond. It's going to be like a chosen situation. That's what it is. Okay? That's all it is. However, when you're twisting, I mean, I swear to God, some of the things that they say,
mental gymnastics.
it's more intense than like lying to Alex after Tom Holland down here decided to tell Alex that Rhysand showed up in Sky and Breath. Like, we
Bryce said, she literally was like, but Sarah, Bryce said Rhys looked like Rune, and we were like, delete it! Delete it right now!
But like,
Sometimes you guys don't know how good Sarah is at trolling. It comes off so sincere. You think you're in a chat where you're safe, and you're not.
yeah, no one's safe.
Oh,
okay.
And then Izzy was like, Sarah and I sent our cleanup videos to the chat, and Izzy was like, you guys are pathological liars.
But I just want to say that took like 15 minutes between Avery and I to like come up with the plan, make sure it was a good plan, you know. The rate, the rate at which some of the folks that use the Elreal hashtag come up with theories, honestly, is extremely impressive. And the master manipulation at which they work, honestly, it's a gift. Like, I'm not even mad about it. Like, I'm genuinely like, wow, like, you know how to play the victim card, and it is very impressive.
Oh my God, Haley.
Make a disclaimer that we're not talking about the sane, unproblematic Elreals.
Yeah, we're talking about the evil ones.
Yeah,
Haley
evil
said,
ones.
Hold on.
We are friends with several Elreals who we actually have conversations with because they can hold an adult conversation.
Like Spoiled and Sandy. I'm an Elreal fan, but I've been bitten by other Elreals. I got booted from a Discord group because they thought I was a Gwynreal spy because I was suspicious. That's ridiculous.
That was
There are some that are so insane.
That wasn't my exact experience, but I was an Elreal who expressed an interest in Elreal and Gwynreal on Instagram. And they jumped down my throat, and I made up my mind. I was like, okay, never mind.
Here's the thing. Ship who you want to ship. Well, I don't care.
Don't be an asshole. It's like,
don't be an asshole.
The other thing too, I just want to quickly say this because I've said this on Tumblr because I do have a Tumblr account. I mainly talk about Rowan and Elain, or I reblog Izzy's shit. That's basically
where you
it.
find Sims content.
Oh yeah, I get a lot of Sims content on there. I've had it since 2012. That's its primary purpose. But anyways, the one thing I want to say is, like, when you put yourself out on the internet, okay, like we all have, and you come up with a theory or you come up with a statement, and it's a public platform, prepare yourself for someone to comment or to say, I disagree and here's why. And if you can't accept that, you should probably not be on the internet.
No.
Because people will constantly come
smash
to
that
me.
block button.
Yeah.
Smash that block button, sis.
Block button is self-care.
But like,
curate your own creative experience is what we always say.
And here's the thing.
I mean, they told me this week I was sending death threats.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh yeah, Sarah used the Vampire Diaries. This family makes me want to murder people, and put this fandom makes me want to murder people.
It's
and they
funny.
Were like, I am a victim of a hate crime.
They were
They don't want to hate crime.
All right, listen, Sarah, why don't you just go back to filming Misery and just leave the other girls alone?
Yeah. I mean, it was just funny to me because, like, people will come to me all the time and they'll be like, I fully disagree with you. And I'm like, cool, let's talk about it. Because I've said this from the beginning. I don't want a bunch of yes men around me. I want people who, like, can challenge and we can have discussions and have fun theory.
It's fun to do this kind of stuff.
Like, this is not serious. Like, all of us are going to log off. I mean,
it's fun to troll each other.
We literally spent, was it yesterday's live where we were talking about all of Rowan's bird children?
Yes, we were talking about Rowan and bird paternity.
That was Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
wow. I don't know what it is.
Poor Avery was just doing laundry, living her best life, and she's scrolling on TikTok, and these two assholes show up drinking and are like, what do you think about this bird sound? And I'm like, good God, what just happened? And then I go into the chat and they go, oh no, mom found us.
Yeah.
Like, they're not on a public platform.
But I mean, that's kind of the point. Like, there's nothing wrong with just agreeing with me. Know that if you're too much of an asshole, I'm gonna block you. Like that's just because it's as much my control it is as yours to do something like that. But when you're constantly posting theories and that's your whole thing, prepare for someone to be like, that doesn't make sense, and explain. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just
so I very rarely get an Elreal in my comments, but when I do, a lot of times it'll be, how do you explain that, whatever, da 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 da, and it's more aggressive than that, but that's the gist of it. And so then I go into my explanation and I will try to have a conversation with them. My favorite one that I encountered recently just kept telling me that Gwynriel couldn't happen because they only talk one time in one chapter, which is chapter 60. Here's the thing, friends. Yes, do they only talk in one chapter, which is chapter 60, if you take away the bonus chapter? Yes. The other thing is I would hate for anyone to think that any kind of nonverbal interaction that is pointed out can't be romantic coding. Because then you take away a bunch of Elain and Asriel shit because they aren't interacting and talking.
I think the big thing is like what we're just, I mean, regardless of the ship, I don't think that's the point. I think the point is that when you put yourself on the internet and you are constantly spouting theories, and a lot of them are just straight bullshit because you are desperate for your ship, which I get. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was a big Gale and Katniss shipper. I wasn't a huge PETA person. Like that was, so I get it. However, when you take it to a level that is just, you're an asshole, like be prepared for someone to call you an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
Sarah, you're an asshole for being a Gale and Katniss shipper. It's fine.
Fine, whatever. I knew that was
Listen. All the time, me and Sarah disagree, and she's always so wrong about Kale, and I'm so right, and we're still best friends.
Hey, Sarah.
Listen, they did not make it easy on you. In your defense, they did not make it easy on you.
Shut the fuck up.
Listen, this is in your defense. They did not make it easy when they cast Liam Hemsworth.
What those
like, no, that is not playing fair.
Hey, I'm just saying, I'm going to support Sarah in this because I was also a Gale and Katniss shipper until that one very specific instance in the third book.
Morgan said Finnick was the man of that series.
100%.
Finnick
100. Yeah. No, but I think the whole point is like, I just cracked. And then not only that, I'm sorry. I'm just going to be totally honest here. I will not pacify my hashtags because you don't want to see my video on your timeline.
Just block somebody. If you don't want to see it, block them.
You don't have to watch my content.
The only thing I will do is if it is in reference to a spoiler, like I'm I won't use certain hashtags so it doesn't come up so you don't get spoiled. Okay, I will do that, but I am not going to pacify you because you don't want to see hate on your hashtag. It's a public hashtag, babe.
Yeah, and you know what? Sarah has been around 45 years. She knows what she's talking about.
I'm pretty sure you're older than me, so that's.
I am. I'm older than you by a year.
Can we not?
Yeah, Taylor's the oldest.
It's okay, but I am 45 years old. And I look like Andy Bates.
Yes, that's what I said.
My icon.
I said, "What are you doing? Are you supposed to be filming Misery or Titanic or something? What are you?"
I didn't get that reference.
American Horror Story. What are you doing?
I got it, Taylor.
Thank you. I didn't get the reference. I'm sorry.
Okay, speaking to the hashtag thing.
You're too old. I get it. It's fine.
Speaking to the hashtag thing, just briefly, I very specifically follow certain hashtags on Instagram. One of the very specific hashtags I do not follow is Elreal. I follow an Aleutian hashtag. It showed up on my feed, and it was an Elreal image that used the Aleutian hashtag because Elain is in the picture. Do you know what I did? I kept scrolling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just
an injustice.
I don't feel the need to comment on Elreal content.
It's not for me.
I want to continue to show up on my feed. I'm not going to interact with it.
I just think it's funny. Like, I'm not against the ship. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But the rate at which some of these people act, if it happens, I think a good chunk of us who are very active in the fandom will be so mad at Sarah because we just don't like them.
That's
It's
not
not-
thing.
it is
honest to
totally
God.
fine.
It has
Honest to
nothing.
God, okay.
It has
My
nothing
biggest
to do with the
flex-
book. Nothing to
my-
do with the book.
My biggest flex is that I was never an Elreal shipper, okay? But I
All
was
right, babe.
reading. No, listen, it's a big flex.
Oh my
all
god,
right?
whatever.
But here we go. No one was ever good enough for my baby. I'm sorry, but no, I'm just kidding.
Honestly,
Except-
relatable. So yeah, I get it.
Okay.
But I was willing, if that's where the direction that Sarah was going in, I was willing to like be like, okay, she's gonna make it make sense. It's gonna work. I'm gonna like it. I trust her. And then the crazy Elreals came out of nowhere and completely have tainted that pairing
Yeah.
at all for
Yeah,
me because
they've
I
totally
don't want
ruined
people
it.
like that to get what they want.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay, put us back on track. I'm going to talk about the thing that I wanted to discuss because which is Throne of Glass related.
Okay, but like I didn't get to say which theory I hated the most.
We
or
haven't
I
done
liked the
those
most.
yet. Wait,
We
we did do
Started with the hate one.
We started with
with
the
hate.
hate
I meant
one.
the ones I liked the most.
We haven't done
We
those
haven't
yet.
done that
We
yet.
haven't done those
Okay.
yet.
I need
Um,
chocolate. What am I doing? You're making me want candy.
I have a brownie.
Okay,
Okay,
the
okay,
one that
okay,
I
yeah.
wanted to talk about, which there's actually a few. I just want to quickly mention because I know someone's going to be like, "Oh, do you only come up with good theories?" No. And let me give you an example of some of the really shitty theories I've come up with, okay? Number 1, when I was doing my reread of House of Earth and Blood, at one point I put the book down and spent 45 minutes convinced that Perithian and Midgard were the same planet. And then I
Yep.
remembered that wasn't a thing because Aelin fell through all the worlds. So, horrible theory. The second one is my extremely crack theory that this is before Sky and Breath came out, that Amryn and Varian's child is the general in the army, and that Phaesan's daughter is Queen Thea. I was convinced because I had done research on their names and they were related to water and summer and all this stuff, and that's not true at all. So we all come up with shitty theories. Not all of us, happy Easter, not all of us come up with good theories. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the thing. Oh, I'll talk about the Terracin thing in a second. But the theory that I really want to talk about, and you will hear this from me in the Era Fire Live as well when we do the reread, it is that the creature that is under the mountain, yes, under the mountain in Era Fire that Aelin fights and Rowan is there, and this is how she gets the Skuldrin, is Koschei.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It doesn't make sense, but it would.
It'd be cool.
It would be cool.
It'd be real cool. That's the great thing about crack theories is that
They're
can we
fun.
back a lot of them up? Not really, but wouldn't it be cool?
Fun.
I'm still convinced that it's a creature from Perithian. I'm still convinced that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it. I think it's old, like something that Reese and all of them that they don't know.
I mean, it could be related to Briaxis. It could be.
yeah,
but
yeah.
who knows?
It's just very interesting because when you specifically read, I think it's Emrys. I think is his name. Isn't it Emrys?
The storyteller?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you for. Like, I should probably know that. I don't remember. Anyways.
You're drinking wine. It's fine.
I'm almost done with this bottle. Anyways, so Emrys, when he brings up the story and he brings it up to Rowan, and they're like, "What language is this in?" Rowan's, Emrys specifically says that it's in a language older than the language that's on Rowan's face. So it's kind of a fun little like nod to something there, which is why I'm always like, it's unknown if Rowan could speak in the language that Reese and all of them. I think he can, but anyways, it's a very interesting, like, good chunk of Era Fire that is just like still a mystery, and I would love for it to be Koschei, but it is not, unfortunately. So that is the thing I wanted to talk about because I love that theory so much.
I like it. That'd be neat.
It's all I want. It's all I want. I just want. Listen, if we don't go to Terrace,
Well, for God's sake.
You're gonna have to grab this later. Yeah.
the time
I have to
Avery.
grab so many of them. I
the
don't even know
timestamp
where-
is 1 hour and 42 minutes.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You can write it on your whiteboard. You don't have to.
You jot that down, secretary.
No, but I'm just like, I would love for it to be freaking Koschei or one of them, but
Then
he also lost an eye.
oh,
like, what is that?
This is my own kind of crack theory that I came up with talking to HLIZR50 and Mystical Blaze. And I think I got it.
Okay,
from,
can I ask, how do you actually say her username? Is it H Liz?
It's
maybe her name is Heather.
I
That's
know.
what I call her.
I thought her name was Liz for the
I
longest
always
time.
call
Is
her
Heather
Liz.
watching? If Heather's not watching, you can tell her. I thought her name was Liz for the longest time because it was H
Same.
Liz.
I'll
Same.
tell her. I'll tell her.
Genuinely, it literally did not register with me that her name was Heather until Izzy said Heather, and I was like, "Who's Heather?" And she's
Yeah,
like,
I do too.
Somehow I knew immediately that her name was Heather. I don't know. I can't explain it to this day.
Okay, so you knew that, but you thought my name was Elizabeth.
Elizabeth or Rose, then Elizabeth.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
I
Okay.
figured out your name was Sarah very quickly because you say it in your videos.
Yeah, someone earlier was like, I thought you were talking in third person about yourself, and I was like, no, I'm talking about Sarah J. Maas.
Okay,
It
but
is
a
confusing.
theory that I think you guys gave me. I don't know if it was you guys or
Oh
not.
no.
And
we
I
did
mean, you
something.
guys. Well, I was. I think you guys brought up that the cauldron was potentially made of wordstone.
Huh?
Oh, okay. Well, the cauldron is black, and the stuff that makes it up isn't really.
We're all like,
They can't find it to
Okay.
make like the property that makes up the cauldron. There isn't a lot of it, and I wondered if maybe stop tilting
No.
your head.
No. I'm just thinking because it
So-
could. Whoa, wait. Okay, hold
Well,
on.
they say that another one can't be made, and I'm like, maybe it's because the properties that make it up are intergalactic, and the Astery brought it and made it.
No.
and put it in there.
No. Okay. Wait. Hold on. So the the stones that Elain, the keys. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah, like
okay?
the word stone and the word gate. and
So those were specifically made from a word gate. So Bobby Yellow explains it in caranam. There's
Yeah.
a massive paragraph about that.
Okay.
So that is specifically made from. I think it's. Okay, let's be honest. I don't know if Baba gave the full story, but I'm pretty sure Maeve took the keys. Like I think it's like she grabbed it from the word gate and like went through.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know how that would make a cauldron, but there is a certain feeling at which the keys have, and Aelin describes it, and so does Dorian.
Yeah.
And it has like a wrongness to it.
Yeah, and I know that the cauldron gives off like a vibe. But my thing was that I wondered if they pulled a Stargate where the aliens showed up and established themselves as deities. Did the intergalactic parasite show up with a cauldron that was made of the thing that they needed it to be made of, established it as a deity of some sort?
You know this is supposed
And
to be
then-
crack theories, right?
Isabella,
I feel like it's a crack theory.
What are you talking
not!
about?
that's a deep dive. What are you talking
Oh, well then
about?
I'll shut up and we can talk about it. But basically, my theory
no.
is that the wordstone was planted, and it's an intergalactic material that the Astery have thrown into each of their
Oh, I
realms.
believe that 100%. I don't know if it's part of the word gates.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
I wrote it down. We'll spiral later.
Okay, sounds good. I'll pull the Throne
Yay!
of Glass notes.
got like a little
works.
list back there. I love
Uh,
I'm so excited.
The clock tower was not made of wordstone. And,
Oh, yeah.
Idiot.
It was made of obsidian, but it was a different property.
Mhm.
But you know what is made of obsidian?
Her collar.
That and a lot of daggers are made of obsidian.
Yes. Oh, not just daggers, but swords, because so is Dorian's. But yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Before we
Well,
do the
I'm
things,
mad at you. My brain's not gonna shut off tonight.
before we do the things that we love, I'm going to
Take out the
do
whiteboard.
some of these fun theories in here. The first one I want to do, which is down at the bottom, which I kind of want to start this one off, and then everyone can kind of run with it. The infamous bread and roses.
God Almighty!
Real quick, I need to remove my sweatshirt.
I have never been more angry
Okay.
about a stupid thing than a quart of bread and fucking roses.
Okay, first off, there's nothing wrong with a quart of bread and roses. But bread and roses. Okay.
We have discussed this at length.
We have. But I'm
I'm mad about it.
I'm gonna explain this in like 2 seconds for anyone who has no idea what the hell this is. So
bread.
If you haven't heard of this, God bless you.
Can I mute you for a minute?
Yeah,
You
that's
just
fine.
wave at me?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, the quickest way I can describe bread and roses is this. So for anyone who is not familiar, Hosab was leaked. Was it 1 week before the book came out?
Yep, it was the Tuesday before.
Okay, 1 week before the book came out, the copies of Hosab were starting to arrive at bookstores. A girl who worked at Barnes & Noble specifically took screenshots of the bonus chapter, which was the Bryce and Hunt one. And then she started uploading the last page and then finally the full last chapter of Hosab. Okay, so this is how everyone found out before the book was released that Reese was in Hosab. Okay, so this theory specific.
Real quick,
Yeah.
how we found out before she posted that picture was she said, "Not my daddy Reeson showing up at the end of Hosab." It was something like that.
Okay. Well, anyways, she was an Elreal. We're all shocked. So the thing is, though, what she had tweeted, I think it was her. I think she had started this by tweeting that there was this, that Bryce specifically picks up on the scent of bread. And I don't remember if she says roses. I looked it up. It's like not bread and roses. It's like, it's worded differently.
It says bread, comma, roses.
Comma, roses.
Yeah. Okay. So she read that and she said, oh my God, it's Elain and Az, because she was convinced that Elain was baking, because obviously Elain does a lot of baking. And that the roses scent is a callback to when Feyre was pregnant. They described that scent.
Actually, first it started out as just Elain is associated with gardening roses in the townhouse. And then later they adapted it to Eva. Yeah.
Because Asriel and Elaine were living in the townhouse.
Yes. So
all of Dolores smells like bread.
I know. So the thing is like, it started as a theory about, there was a few things floating around, but the basic gist of it was Elain and Az were living in the townhouse. This scent is the hint of it. And also because it was a callback to in Silver Flames when Feyre was pregnant, they described that scent of like roses, like a flower.
A freshly budding rose.
Yes. So that is how this whole thing spiraled. So Elreals, and I am really going to say the evil Elreals because I know the sane ones didn't really cling on to this as much.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was, a lot of them were then taking credit for the high number of people who read Sky and Breath because they leaked this and because it was finally confirmation of Elreal. Okay.
They told Bloomsbury they deserved a treat.
Yes.
Does anyone remember the post that Sarah, I think it was Sarah's account, that said, what's your favorite quote from Hosab?
Oh, yes.
And hundreds.
Yes.
If not thousands of people commented bread, roses. I'm like, oh, for the love of God.
Yes. So it has spiraled into this whole thing. Okay. And then my favorite part is like recently someone took the Tumblr bread and roses and they're like just talking shit about them, which is like, it's absolutely hysterical. But the whole thing, the whole reason this is just like so funny is like, it's just so like, it's just so small. Like, do you know I just out of curiosity, I looked in Mist and Fury and like all the ACOTAR books for Pine and Snow, and it is mentioned, by the way. It is mentioned right after Feyre tells Reese about the wingspan. Like they're in a pine forest and it smells like pine.
It technically smells like snow and pine.
Snow and pine, yes. But it is mentioned. It is mentioned.
It's only one time Sarah has ever been wrong about something relating to pine and snow, and I was right, and I will over her for the remainder of her.
But I'm just saying, like, it's kind of like at that level of like insanity. So that is the bread and roses theory, and I honestly can't even say it with a straight face because it's so
stupid.
They have better theories than that one.
So crazy. Like,
also, me and Avery combed through every damn book.
Every
Elain
book
is never mentioned to be planting roses specifically. anywhere at any time. So if anybody tells you she planted roses at the townhouse, that is inaccurate. She is also not smell like roses. She smells like jasmine and honey per Akasa.
Let me tell you something. Strictly speaking, if this were flipped around, and I'm a Gwendryn shipper. If this were flipped around and it were something that indicated to me that Gwen and Az were living together in the townhouse, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, how the hell?
Yeah, like what happened?
The biggest like Marvel Cinematic Universe ending of all of her books, and it's overshadowed by the use of the word red roses.
Why would he bring a person from another world? He has no idea of her intentions, who she is. Why would he bring her to where his beloved wife
his pregnant wife.
Yeah. So a few things. Number one, yes. Fun fact, Sarah did give birth to her daughter the day that this was leaked. Number two, I'm pretty sure she had no idea this was going on because for anyone who doesn't know, Sarah's not really on social media. And number three, yes, once Sarah posted a photo of her newborn daughter, everyone was like, oh, this is our confirmation of Elreal because
she was wearing pink.
Because a baby girl in pink is suddenly confirmation of your ship.
It was specifically that Elain was pregnant.
Yeah, I just want to say
she was pregnant.
It cracks me up sometimes how defensive they are because someone posted on Tumblr, and I wish I had saved it, this hysterical dissection of Rowan and how much of an asshole he is, and I could not stop laughing. I was crying. Like, it was so funny to me. Like, it was genius. Like, I thought it was funny. So like it's just, so that's the bread and roses thing. That's basically the thing. Okay.
Oh, real quick. Last thing about the bread and roses thing.
An
interviewer recently brought up the bread and roses when she met with SJM, and she was talking to SJM, and she was like, I love that Bryce showed up in hell, and she was like, smells like bread here? And SJM just was like, yeah, and they moved on with it. So she didn't say, yes, did you recognize who that was alluding to?
Yeah, she doesn't care. Okay, so some of these other fun ones that are thrown in here. Bryce and Tamlin are in game.
Oh, for God's sake!
What?
Why don't y'all walk her with her mate?
That's honestly kind of
hysterical.
hysterical.
Is it because Hunt is well
okay. Oh, we already talked about that one. Bryce is a reincarnation of Adis's former lover. I actually kind of like that one. That's a fun one.
The like she's a reincarnation of Thea.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
I like that one.
They say like her powers are pretty much what Thea's were.
They're the same.
So
she has Thea's light. Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't more than a bit of an ass in Airfire. He was an asshole in Airfire.
He was. It's called a starting arc.
Kick Tamlin.
Yeah, I will say though, like the fact that Hunt can have a mate shows he has some fae in him somewhere, and I really want to freaking know what.
Yeah. Okay, so Moore is gonna leave Prithian to help Bryce and may not return.
I hate that.
No,
I think she's too in love with what she has going for her in the
none of the book characters are going to go live in the other series.
So I can explain where that comes from. That comes from the belief that without the second or the first light and the Astery, Lunathion is going to crumble because they'll have lost. But societies have existed without power before. They can learn how electricity works.
So someone said, why don't people like Quinlar? There's a few reasons. One, they feel like Hunt is boring. And two, people don't forgive Hunt for his actions on Earth and Blood. And three, the third reason is because they aren't fully convinced that they're mates because they feel like because they are different species, they're not like fully convinced.
I get the not being fully convinced thing. I swear to God, if you stan Rhysand and Feyre after what he did under the mountain and you have forgiven him and you will not forgive Hunt, what? Try again.
I want to point out
Rhys and Feyre, Rowan and Elain. I mean, Rowan
come on,
Elain in the face.
Taylor and Avery have all three discussed doing an In Defense of Hunt live, like we did the In Defense of Asriel live.
Yeah.
So we want KB to join us too.
Okay, so Bryce ended up in CC, and the Autumn King is his descendant. Oh, Brannon. I read that wrong. Brannon ended up in CC, and the Autumn King is his descendant. No, he's a shifter, but we'll keep going. This is a lot of our favorites. This is probably my favorite crack theory that I know for 1000% is not true.
Okay.
Azris
Oh God Almighty.
as an heiress together.
I think it's just you and me, Sarah. who like
You know why I like it? Because
Definitely
it's
just you.
because it's the ultimate enemies to lovers. Like it's just so messed up that that's what it is. But like that's the only reason.
I see your Azris, and I raise you, Eris and Balthazar.
Whatever. I raise you both Gwynlane.
Whatever. I
Oh!
raised Lucian
Light
and
Academia and
Azriel. I raised
Cottage
Lucian
Core?
and Azriel. Like,
Ooh, I like that one.
Listen, Steph liked Gwynlane too. I pitched it to her.
I actually kind of like Whitney.
Okay,
But
this
I'll
is
put her
okay.
on.
Wait, I'm trying to think who I could pair Rowan with that would be similar. Lorcan. That makes
No,
me kind of
Well, I don't
Wasn't
think
there
so.
like a theory that Rowan and Lorcan had like been lovers at one point?
It's not a theory. It is in Queen of Shadows. Okay, it is heavily implied that they had sex in the same room, which heavily implies yes.
But like in the same room doesn't mean together.
No, but it's
She did this with the Bat Boys too. Why is she making everybody have
first off, it was
Yeah.
with the cadre first. Okay, so second off, it is heavily implied that well, this is the thing. I think it's more implied that the Bat Boys probably screwed around with each other a little more. I don't think that's necessarily true, in my humble opinion. I also think Rowan is probably the most straight-laced, like, you know, monogamy only male she's
Yeah.
ever written. So, like, yeah.
I don't think Azriel is bisexual either.
Yes,
I don't think.
SJM does have an orgy kink. I would agree
I
with
think
you
he
on that.
experimented because he's thorough. I think he's realized that he landed on one side of the spectrum.
Wait,
Yeah.
who?
Yeah,
Who?
I mean-
Azriel.
Oh,
think that he
I thought you were talking about
experimented.
Rowan. I was like, he did not experiment.
No, I think that Rowan is the type of straighty that my husband in who's like, no, I just know I don't need to try. That
Yeah.
sounds exhausting.
Yeah. Your husband and I have that in common. Okay, so let's see what other ones. We talked about as an heiress. We talked about Cassian dying. A lot of
we
people.
have to do the ones that we love too.
We will. Yeah. I'm just trying to close some of these out. Connection. That's a legitimate theory. Therion and Ethan.
Oh, I talked about this in the chat a minute ago. So I really think that Ethan's mate is going to be the alpha,
Agreed.
but
Mhm.
I do think that is a really fun crack ship pairing based on their interactions in Hosab.
Yeah.
So that'll live in my
Crack
heart. As
Um,
JLA would say, that will live in my mind eventually.
I really want Flynn. As long as Flynn and the dragon get together, I'll be happy.
Oh hell yeah.
Ariadne.
Yeah.
I want Flynn and the dragon.
Lydia and Cormac are half siblings. Yep. Okay. Anyways, Bryce is. I'm not gonna read this one.
President Lydia Stan, I'm gonna go probably not on that one.
Yeah. Some people claim that Az and Gwen will just be friends because their interaction is similar to Therion and Hypaxia's.
It's actually more
moving
similar
on.
to Rowan and
Try it.
Aelin.
Yeah,
but
it is.
okay.
Moving on.
Okay. Bryce will become High Queen of all the Fae in Midgard because she's the heir to the former High King and Queen, and she will change the Fae for the better. That's probably a
I
legitimate
think
thing.
I think that Bryce is going to surrender, like not want to be,
I think she will too.
because she talks about all the time how much she admires Ember and Randall's
Yeah.
running off to the countryside. I think that her and Hunt both just want to be normal people.
She's the opposite of Aelin, in which Aelin started the story. You could tell she was fighting her true nature, and her true
Yeah.
nature was to be queen. Whereas Bryce is 100% never had that desire in her at all.
And then you have the mates between Rune and Lydia, because they are mates. I refuse
Yeah.
to accept anything else. And she's a shifter and
Yeah.
he's Fae, so that could easily bring people together.
Yeah,
I think that Rune is a born leader. I think that even
Yeah.
though Bryce has the most power, she's gonna let Rune
Izzy,
be High King. What?
you have to talk just for a half a second, Sarah, about Rune ending the Asteri versus ending his line, because that's
Oh yes,
Just
the
briefly.
line.
just briefly.
The Sphinx tells Rune that the royal bloodline ends with him, and she didn't say which royal bloodline. So I think that she meant the Asteri, and that Rune is going to be the one to defeat the Asteri.
Mhm.
He's not going to die, and he's not impotent.
Okay.
I like that
Okay,
theory.
that's it.
That's my favorite theory too, by the way. Do
Oh.
you think that the characters in Throne of Glass will make an appearance in CC3? Yes.
Yeah.
God, please.
Could this open the door for a new Throne of Glass book to come out because Sarah has not released the World of Throne of Glass? Yes.
God, please.
Okay.
ASMR time.
Yes. Okay. Bryce is getting a Pegasus. She loves them because of her heritage. And the Pegasus are from the Dusk Court, so the Starborn Queen needs one for sure.
I read, okay.
Idea.
No. This is a great crack theory. Heather has talked about it. She thinks that Gwen and Bryce will bond because Gwen might know the old language and she likes Pegasus, and then her and Bryce can bond over Pegasus.
It's actually really cute.
That's a cute theory.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny that Jelly Jubilee is a unicorn Pegasus.
Yes.
And you know what liked Gwen the best? The miniature Pegasus.
Yeah. Okay, if Mor and Eris would have had a child, it would have been Cormac because the fire and night powers, blonde hair, brown eyes, cousin of Rune, connected to Rhys.
Okay, don't hate
She doesn't have shadow powers.
No, but she's related to the Night Court, and so that's where that comes from. Like, her family obviously has wasn't her family for a long time.
Well, and if you think about it, Rune
Cormac has shadow powers.
Right,
Okay.
but it would come from that.
Right. Mor's family ruled the Night Court for a long time, and then Rune has shadow powers. So does Cormac. Like it could work.
It would be a reverse of what Cormac is. Cormac is his father is where he gets the shadow powers, and then his mother is where he gets the fire. It's a reverse. So
Rune gets the.
We talked about the Azarus. Elaine will get her powers back when Bryce comes to Aurelia. I don't hate it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Sarah's gonna stick with that one.
Did Elaine lose her power? Well,
No.
she said she hasn't had a vision. Yeah, I see.
She says she hasn't, but we
She
don't.
says it's been a while since she's tried to tap into her powers.
Someone asked, can Bryce use the siphons as like a portable battery?
I don't hate that idea. I still need to look at it some more.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I feel like the problem is we don't know enough about the siphons to fully understand it because it's only been used on Illyrians, and it didn't work with Rhys. So
the only other comparison we have to siphons is the invoking stones of the priestesses.
Yeah.
So
I do want to know what makes Cassian and Azriel need 7 siphons though.
Their killing power.
I know, but what even?
It's not very.
Want to know more about
it's
that,
not
though.
described very well. So I would,
It's not.
Okay, so if Bryce ends up in Throne of Glass, it'll be Vaughn she meets. Let me tell you, my favorite theory, which I know this isn't true, and this isn't the one that I was gonna mention, is that Vaughn is the tattoo artist that gave Bryce the tattoo.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's fun.
Because he did know how to give tattoos. That was one of the things that they bonded over.
I would
think
die
it's
if Vaughn just randomly showed up.
I think it's
Vaughn was the Throne
hysterical.
of Glass character that came.
Yeah, she goes all the way to fucking Aurelia, and all she meets is Vaughn. I would murder Sarah. I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Die.
I'm kidding, by the way. I would never, Sarah. I would never murder you. I want you to know it's not a death threat. I know you get death threats and kidnapping threats all the time. I would not actually do that. I just want you to know that. Okay.
Here we go, Sarah making death threats again.
God, I know, right?
Why don't you just blackmail Bloomsbury while you're at it?
Yeah,
that's horrible. People do that.
Yeah.
Did you?
The Elriel did that.
Sarah, please tell me that face is sarcasm.
I didn't know that. That's horrible.
Yeah, they tagged Bloomsbury in 2 tweets where the Bloomsbury went, "Stop spreading the teasers, please, and let people enjoy the books." And they added them and retweeted and said, "At Bloomsbury, give us Elriel confirmation and we'll stop." And then somebody said, "We deserve a treat. We triple book sales for you."
Oh, shut up, whatever. Okay, but I love all the stuff about Vaughn. I think it's hysterical.
Yeah.
Feyre having all the High Lord's magic is the same as Dorian's raw magic. No. Dorian's raw magic.
Special.
I see what you're saying though, because it's like a drop of their power into her.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the same.
I think it's also when you go back and you read Silver Flames and you specifically, I forget what chapter it is, but there is a chapter where they go into detail about when there was a High King and the powers dynamic, like how the powers were divided up. And then obviously when there became High Lords, it was brought in a little bit different. That indicates to me that it is not the same as the raw magic that Elena and Dorian had.
Shameless plug. Join Sarah's Patreon to receive full notes on that. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's not happening until 2023, so you're not getting the ACOTAR notes until 2023.
Yeah, but so join it in 2023, but also you can get stuff before that. So
yeah, because the Throne of Glass notes are coming out in August. 10-year anniversary, baby. Okay, so let's see. We're wrapping this up, so this is last call on questions, okay?
Yeah, we gotta do the loves, and
yeah,
we've got
I know.
27 minutes
I know.
before I go to bed.
No, I know. Okay, so this last one we talked about that. Okay, so theories that you guys love. Favorite crack theories you know that aren't true, but you want to talk about.
Can I even talk about mine?
What is it? I don't remember.
Oh God. Okay. So mine is Mor and Eris are made.
Oh, that's a good one though.
I think we can talk about that because
love
there's
that
really not a
one.
lot of foundation for that one. So
So
it's
there's
correct
not
there.
a lot of foundation for
love
that.
it,
But
though.
here's the thing. So
I
many
think it's true.
people have a hard on for people rejecting, like mates rejecting the mating bond and us seeing that.
Because I do want to see it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm one of those people. I want to see it.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Have a hard on for it. But it's not gonna be illusion.
No.
It's just not.
No.
So this is a way that we can see a rejected mating bond because there are moments in Silver Flames where Eris knows where Mor is and he is very attuned to her.
He smells her.
Like
He literally sends her.
he knows. So my crack theory is that Mor and Eris are actually mates who rejected the mating bond because Mor prefers females to males.
Yeah, he literally tells like Mor, I gave you your freedom.
Yes.
Like, that's what I did. Like, how is breaking the bond not giving somebody freedom?
For those of you who have read Outlander, when I think personality wise, like if I'm going down the Eris's gay route, I think Lord John Grey from Outlander all day long.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good.
That man, like he is cunning, he knows what he wants, and he is willing to, in a society that rejects that, have a hetero presenting relationship where he can do all of the things he needs to do to produce an heir, but he prefers the D.
It's like
it's like
Fenris.
I don't know if I think Eris is fully. I mean, I'm fine with it.
I don't think he is. If I'm going to be honest, I don't think he is.
I don't think he is.
But if we go down that path, Lord John Grey.
Yeah,
I do want to point out that the reason a lot of people, and I'm sure that's not you, Sarah. A lot of reasons people have a hard on to see a mating bond rejected is because of the foreshadowing from What If the Cauldron Was Wrong. Yeah. That foreshadowing, I believe personally, I don't know what you guys think. I think it's more foreshadowing for a Lucian story where they will question what if the cauldron was wrong and contemplate breaking their bond as part of their trope of reluctant fated mates.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how you get that foreshadowing settled.
I think I
love about their story
without having Lucian break their bond.
I think I also just wanted to see it for the longest. I think before I got Silver Flames, I'll be honest, I was like, oh, we're gonna see them reject the mating bond and she's gonna go with Az. Like it just made sense to me. Yeah. And then it was very clear reading Silver Flames that was not the direction because Elain was not present. And I was honestly disappointed because I thought Elain was going to be very present in that story, especially because she is Nesta's favorite of the two. So I thought there was going to be more of her, but there wasn't. But yeah, at this point, someone made a suggestion in the comments about the Lady of Autumn and Helion being a rejected mating pair. Like there are potential avenues that we could go in for this, and I think it would be very interesting, but also knowing Sarah's pattern of wanting happy endings, I don't know if we'll ever see it.
She's also a fated mates author.
At least not with a big a main couple.
Yeah.
If we see it,
okay.
Like more in it.
Taylor, what's your favorite theory, really quick?
My favorite theory that's definitely not going to happen is that we're going to go to Terrasen.
Fuck off. I literally will kick you out of this Zoom.
That's amazing.
I love you
so much.
I told you I was going to troll you. I had to get it out.
Honestly, that was a good one.
Write that one down, Avery.
That one's going in the thing. That one right there is going in the thing. What's the timestamp on that one, Sarah?
It is 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Honestly, this was really hard to think of one, but honestly, one of the most ones that's actually a crack theory that I don't think is going to happen is that Gwen is a Starborn.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But I like it because I love Gwen. I would love that.
That's a fun one.
I mean, she glows when she sings.
Well, she
Yeah.
goes and she sings.
Well, it's because she's an evil light singer.
Her aura has
Jesus.
been described as like a crackling energy.
Yeah.
We don't know who her father is, but it's speculated it could be somebody from potentially the Night Court who is powerful. So people have speculated, is it a descendant of
Yeah.
the Dusk Court power? So it's definitely a crack theory, but and something else that I think Izzy's friend Lauren had like talked to me about was the idea that with Thea being kind of blamed for all the things that went down with the First Wars, were people that were Starborn being basically attacked by everyone else because they were determined to be like evil in a sense. And light singers essentially were like a form of that. Like a form of Starborn. It's a total crack theory, but it's actually like a really interesting theory.
Taylor, you and I need to talk about that more and see if we can connect it to the light singer theory I've got.
I'm down.
Okay.
I have all of her notes that she sent
Izzy,
me.
what is your favorite?
Yes. My favorite died when the Hoseb spoilers were leaked, but I remember it well and fondly.
Okay.
It was since Rune's eyes were described as teal multiple times in Crescent City,
Yes.
and he has dark hair,
Yes.
and he has shadow magic, and his daddy has red hair and is the Autumn King.
Yes.
My theory was that the Autumn King was a descendant of Gwen and Azriel
That's a good one.
being together. And then later his eyes were changed to purple.
Yeah.
And
Violet.
we learned that they exist at the same time, so it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. A choice.
I hate that.
Choice situation there.
Don't you hate
Yeah.
that?
I love it though. That's a fun one.
Maybe it's just
You got really excited
killed
too.
him.
I did. I was mad. So
You were like, so it's Gwynreel's. And I was like, yeah. And then
Yeah.
the teaser, and then the spoiler came out the next day.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
disappointing.
because y'all were like, Avery, we need to tell you this Gwenreal theory. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then we never got to talk about it because
Yeah. Mine, people bring this up all the time, and I definitely don't believe it, but I think it's a cute, sentimental one. It is that Selena and Sam are mates. Yeah.
I can't deal with this. Avery, do you remember when I read Assassin's Blade? Do you remember what I asked you before I started it?
Were you actually emotional?
I don't remember what you asked me.
I asked her, is there any like love interest in this book? And you went, oh, just keep reading.
But you know what? Like, that opens a really interesting avenue because it's like, what happens? We don't know what happens if a person's mate actually does die. Like,
We haven't seen them. We've just seen Feyre temporarily lose her shit, but we don't know the long-term effect.
Or is it just like a penguin thing where like they literally lose their
Oh,
mate?
that's horrible. Jesus.
I hate you so much.
That's
Listen,
horrible.
it doesn't make me happy either, but I'm a vegetarian. It kills me. But
I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of like, I think okay, let me say this. I was never emotionally attached to Sam. I think that's an age thing. I think that has to do with me being not a young teenager when I was reading Throne of Glass. I think I've noticed people who are, still in high school or are, very young, under the age of 18, are very attached to Sam. And I get that. That makes a lot of sense to me. I think I just never was that attached to Sam. So he felt like a very important piece in her journey, and that was, what he was. And then we moved on, and we, got to the end of it.
Based on the,
it's like your first like love. It's like your first
basically.
relationship.
But
and based on the way Sarah told me to read the books, Sarah is in this one. Based on that, like I knew Sam was, because I read Throne of Glass, I knew Sam was gonna die.
Yeah.
Me too.
So
Yeah.
like going into Assassin's Blade, knowing Sam was gonna die. I mean, obviously I was not super attached to him, but I wanted to know that story. So I think maybe if I had read Assassin's Blade first, it might have impacted me a little bit more, but I still think I'm like Sarah in that, like, I don't think I would have gotten overly attached to him.
I didn't know how deep we were going to get into it either.
Yeah,
that surprised me.
What's funny too is Assassin's Blade is the only book that I cried while reading Throne of Glass, and it actually had nothing to do with Sam.
There's so many sad parts.
It was literally when she was in the carriage on her way to
I knew you were going to say
Endovir,
that.
and she sees the Lord of the North, like the stag like bow its head at her, I was sobbing. And I remember very vividly immediately grabbing Kingdom of Ash and reading the ending with Rowan because I needed to know that they were happy. And then I went to Air of Fire. Like I could not go from that moment to Rowan being an asshole. Like I needed to see him happy so then I could move on. Like so, which I know sounds like
I went straight from that to Rowan being an asshole.
Yep.
I think it's different when you like know who Rowan is. Like if I didn't know who he was, I was like, okay, let's read Air of Fire. Like I think I would have had a little bit of a different reaction, but because I was like, God, I need that freaking buzzard just to be happy for 2 seconds. And I always will read. My favorite is when in in Kingdom of Ash, when everyone's leaving and she says to Rowan, will you let me wallow in bed and cry all day? And he's like, yeah, I'll even find you some chocolate cake. She's like, really? He goes, you save the world, I'll find you some chocolate cake. And I'm like,
yep.
I love Rowan so much.
He's the best.
I have a similar thing where like if I need comfort, I'll do what I did last night, which is I will take, because I have the Azriel bonus chapter version of Silver Flames.
I saw that TikTok this morning.
I know.
I will read it where it falls in the book. So what I do is I read essentially Azriel giving Nesta the Feylight, and then him having his interaction with Elain,
right,
having his interaction with Quinn, and then I go back to Nesta walking into her room in the wee hours of the morning right before she met Cassian. And it's so beautiful to read that in that order. It's just like a hug.
I've actually surprisingly never done it like that.
I'll show you where the page break is. It's a glorious time.
Yeah, I think you can also do the same thing with Air of Fire if you know, because she references the deleted scene. There's a reference to like some fae from Maeve's court came by, and if you put it in that order, it is a lot of fun. But yeah, so a lot of people will say things like Selena is Sam is Selena's mate, Lillian is Kale's mate, and then they'll say like, I know. See, you and I have the same reaction, Izzy.
Lillian, as in her alias?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right then.
Yep, I know.
Okay,
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one too. And then Rowan is obviously Aelin's mate, which is why if anyone is ever in the Discord and they ask the question, is Elain and Rowan mates? I always respond, no, Selena and Rowan are not mates.
Yep.
I
personally can't wait for Azriel to be the next Rowan. It's going to be great.
I mean, that's essentially what he is. The other thing I did want to quickly say when Izzy was like, Sarah's like the mom with the orange slices. The other thing I just want to say, because before I became friends with all of these hoes, Gwen is a redhead with blue eyes, and I am a redhead with blue eyes. So I just feel automatically obligated to like Gwen because we look alike. Because for anyone who doesn't know this, red hair with blue eyes is the rarest combination. So it is a big deal for me when a character or something has blue eyes and they're a redhead.
My mom is also a redhead with blue eyes.
Yeah.
I liked her because she was bossy and she had freckles, and I can relate to that.
I think she might be the first SJM character that is red hair that is an actual ginger in the sense that she will burn if she's in the sun. And I think that is a big deal for me.
Yeah, we also had
you're right.
that length conversation today about hair color.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That was sorry about that. I kind of spurred that one.
You know what else is a rarity? Green eyes. Green eyes is
because I was literally listening to it on the audiobook today.
Well, so
I was like,
so redheads not to like totally diverge us, but we're at the end of live, so it's fine. Redheads, they say it's about 2% of the population. In that 2%, I forget what the breakdown is between brown and green, but it's almost 50-50. And then blue is like 1% of that 2%. So it's quite a rare combination, which is why I could never get an American Girl doll.
Also a 2%. Like having a kid with green eyes is 2%.
I think green eyes itself is the rarest eye color.
Yeah.
What?
Like green, like in total, like doesn't matter what hair color, like green eyes. I think
it has green eyes.
It's blue.
But I have green
eyes.
Blue eyes
are the rarest?
Blue eyes are, because blue eyes have a certain pigment in them that when things happen to them, they can quickly turn. It's a genetic thing. So like that's why a lot of times when like, you know how people will do like the lash, like you can put things on your lashes to extend them and all that stuff. They say if you have, No. Like the serums, not like actual like literally.
Green.
Yeah. So green eyes, I don't know why, but they say if you have blue eyes specifically, not to do that because it will change your eye color because of the certain pigmentation and the genetics behind it.
Mm.
It's a very weird thing. I know.
Because green is the rarest.
Green is the rarest.
Well, I'm just saying that there is some weird shit about blue eyes.
There's weird shit about blue eyes for sure.
I mean, the red
This is
hair,
the
blue
weirdest
eyes
end to this
combo.
crack theory live.
Oh, purple are actually the rarest, just so you guys know.
That is because that doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
I actually have hazel eyes, and no one ever believes me because my eyes always look brown.
Yeah.
I would believe that.
Yeah.
I thought I had hazel eyes growing up, but it turns out they're green.
Also,
and
someone needs to just, I'm just going to be that person for like 5 seconds because as a ginger, this is the one thing that pisses me off. Someone needs to explain to Sarah J. Maas that having red hair is a literal genetic mutation and most gingers literally cannot tan. So her making Bryce, I'm giving Lucian a pass because Lucian is obviously like half black, so that's a little bit of a different situation.
And Vasa.
Yeah,
Vasa's
making
tan,
them tan is not a thing. Like, the Autumn King should not tan. He should be pale as hell because it's not just hair color. It is like literally in your chromosomes. It is a genetic mutation. It's not a hair thing. It is like, I do not have the tanning gene. Like, I physically cannot tan. Like, there's, Taylor can vouch for me on this. I need more anesthesia than most people. Like, and on top of the fact that I'm Asian, so I need even more anesthesia than most people. So there is, like, random things about being a redhead that really bother me that people get wrong.
Like, my mom.
Maybe Faye are different. Maybe Faye
whatever. I just want a freaking redhead that burns in the sun. That's all I'm asking for.
I had to be really careful when I had knee surgery because my mom was a ginger and they had to like figure out the anesthesia.
Yeah, my mom is a redhead too, and so like they always ask
about this.
Yeah, they just it's a very weird thing, okay? But I'm just saying, I know everyone's like it's a fantasy book. I get that, but let me tell you, when you're a redhead, it is not easy out here being a ginger, and all I ask is for someone to sunburn. That's all I want to see in a fantasy book.
I would also like Sarah J. Maas to acknowledge how difficult it is to walk alongside somebody who is a foot taller than you. Somehow Bryce and Hunt are always keeping pace with no struggle. But meanwhile, I can't walk to fucking Walgreens.
That's the most like
wait,
no,
but isn't Bryce
shorter than Hunt?
Yeah, but like how much shorter?
I think well, I'm going by fan art, I guess. She's like a whole foot shorter than him in most fan art.
I don't believe that.
But they also say in her
it's
heels.
a problem with.
I do have a soul. If one of you says one comment about the soul, I do have a soul.
In the book, it says that in heels, she's not eye level with him.
Okay.
So
she's
shorter
than my height.
So she's shorter than Elain because when Elain is in her Fae form, she can look at Rowan directly in the eye, and Rowan's 6'4".
But how tall is Elain?
She's 5'7" in her Fae form.
5'7". Okay.
Well, the only reason I know that is because someone told me. I really don't know, but I just know that she can.
I know we all kind of like people don't actually know.
I know that she can like physically look at Rowan in the eye because there are references to it. And it always takes me out because I imagine him a lot shorter.
I have two things. One, the only two characters that I can see having the worst time walking together are Lorcan and Elaid.
Yeah.
That's a freaking nightmare.
And then number two, somebody said poor Elaid as far as like the height difference between Lorcan and her. My brother is 6'7" and his wife is 5'3". I don't know how it logistically works, nor do I want to know because brother, but it apparently works.
I love that. I would love to have a man who was like.
All I'm gonna say
is really, really hard.
Isabella, you can speak to the logistics.
It's really difficult.
No.
All I'm gonna say is
like Matt's probably like.
His husband is very tall.
How tall is your husband?
My husband is 6'4", I'm 5'2". And
Lorcan is 7 feet, people.
Yeah.
Matt's like 5'10", and I'm 5'4".
So traditional not 5'3".
Traditional positions are easy.
Yes.
If you want to get creative, it's tough.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Elaid is like she's very short.
I have a step stool.
And yeah, I believe that. I do too. I have step stools all over.
My brother's wife stood on a step stool when they got married.
You
for
would
the-
you would appreciate this, Izzy. We were looking at houses just jokingly last night, and we saw one house, and my mom goes, "Oh no, the wine cabinet I would need a ladder," and I was like, "I agree." Like it was up high, like we would just need Dylan to constantly pull things down, or it would not be great.
Everybody moved to Georgia.
All I'm saying is I guess that's the one thing you win at, Izzy. You never have to ask a stranger to pull things off the shelf. You just tell Dylan.
I don't. I just tell Dylan, or he comes in and I've climbed my way up there and I'm like a rat getting caught in the trash. I'm like, I didn't want to bother you every time.
Sarah, I haven't told you yet, but my husband applied to the job that's in Austin.
Oh, he did? Okay, good.
You never know.
I'm way too excited about that.
And I'm in Los Angeles and nobody's here.
Yeah, because
Alex is there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's there.
No.
Yeah, that counts.
No, not really, because she's actually in LA and Alex is in Orange County, and you think that counts until you realize you have to sit in about 2.5 hour traffic, so that doesn't count.
She's about a 40-minute drive from me.
With no traffic.
If we move out of Florida, I'm gonna either be in Austin close to Sarah, or I'm gonna be in the Blue Ridge Mountains close to Avery. So
I'll move close to me.
Yeah.
Izzy, you're gonna have to move, my dear. I'm sorry.
I already lived everywhere.
The one thing that's been requested, someone was like, Alex has said when we all get together, she really wants to film that TikTok of us next to our book boyfriends, the rulers. And I told her she's gonna have to help me because I can't fit a ruler of Rowan's height in frame with me.
We don't know their actual heights though.
Yes, we do. We know that Rowan is 6'4".
We have a good idea.
Yeah, Rowan is
6'4".
Yes.
That the bad boys are 6'2",
Azriel.
6'4".
So Azriel is 6'3", Cassian is 6'1.5" ish, and Reese is 6 foot.
Yeah.
No. Cassian is taller than Azriel.
Yeah, Cassian is taller than Azriel.
Cassian is the tallest of the bad boys.
Azriel is taller.
No, he's not.
No, Cassian is described as broader, and Azriel described as taller.
Listen, I'm gonna let you guys argue about the bad boys, but I will tell you, in relation to the cadre, Rowan is 6'4", Lorcan is 7 feet. I believe Adian is 6'3", 6'2", and the only one we know for sure is Elain is 5'7" in her Fae form. I don't know what she was in her human form, but I think it was 5'5", 5'3", because she did gain a few inches. She brings it up, so. And Illy is somewhere between 5 feet and 5'2".
Oh shit, we're wrong, Avery.
Okay.
Yep, Cassian's biggest.
Y'all think I don't know my man, and I do. Okay.
I definitely thought that Cassian was the tallest.
Okay.
Y'all think.
He's at 210 centimeters, and then Azriel's at 200.
Okay, well all we know is Reese is the smallest, right?
Reese is, yes, he's the shortest bad boy.
What is yours based on, Avery?
I feel like there's something mentioned in Mist and Fury, but what are you looking at?
You feel, or
I am looking at JV White's Tumblr, and she went through all of the books and gathered around what height everybody would be compared to.
Is the Throne of
I'll
Glass?
send you the post.
Is the Throne of Glass ones in there? Because Rowan is definitely 6'4".
She also did Throne of Glass.
They do mention that Rowan is 6'4". I mean,
Yeah.
obviously.
In the books that Rowan is 6'4"?
No, but it mentions that he's shorter than Lorcan, but he's one of the taller ones. And
Lorcan is 7 feet.
And
they got that right.
I'm pretty sure that Kale is 6'2", 6'1".
Kale is
He's the next one.
6'1".
Yeah, he's underneath Adian, and then I think Dorian is Dorian's 6 foot.
He's so little.
Dorian is short king.
Dorian is 6 feet, short king.
That's not really a short king.
No, it's not. But I was
in book boyfriends, it's a short king.
I was gonna say I know for sure that Dorian is shorter than Kale.
Yeah.
Okay, but that obviously the dynamic is definitely short king.
Yeah.
Himbo bodyguard.
Hell
Grumpy
yeah.
Himbo.
Yeah.
He's a Grimbo.
Dorian gains a few inches just being able to snag Manon. Okay, so
hell yeah.
I mean, a few inches where is the question?
We can have a dick question later. Anyways, we Avery and I have done it before. We've talked about their dicks.
We have a picture somewhere of the ranking.
Dorian's pretty high up there.
I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
Lorcan?
Lorcan is not the biggest. I'm pretty sure I made sure that Rowan was bigger than Lorcan, but
Rowan?
Yeah.
Rowan?
We all know who has the biggest wingspan of the bad boys, so I'm not concerned. Which honestly, to be realistic, like after reading Akasif, I'm legitimately like
Concerned?
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Good for Gwen and her pliant bones.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna be like, we're gonna be called a bunch of misogynists, but like, she put that in there for a reason, people.
And one of our first lives with Taylor, I said
newsflash.
that.
It's not for babies. It's so she can take Asriel's.
Yeah, we were having like a really serious commentary about like female autonomy, and I thought it was for his giant dick. That was like Taylor's first live with me.
No, but like actually, like, yeah.
It's my favorite crack theory.
I really can't wait for us to have this like conversation once the book comes out. And we're like, wow, okay, so they just keep getting bigger, and
like,
oh my God, Lucian!
No.
If Lucian's the finale, like we
no. I just want to, Morgan, you are wrong. Just because
how gigantic Cassian.
Morgan, listen, I love you, boo, but you are wrong. Just because Lorcan is 7 feet does not mean he has a bigger dick than Rowan. I'm telling you right now, that's not a thing.
Rowan has a bigger dick than Lorcan. I know it.
Yeah, but like they're both like it's close.
Oh yeah, like they're both stacked. Like,
Yeah. For sure.
Like,
Okay.
Rowan.
Do you find the
You're
list?
sorry, Avery. I know you're a Lorcan stan.
Listen, we'll share the photo later. I don't want to talk about it right now.
Taylor, you're right.
What?
Yeah.
I know you know you're right, and I know Izzy found it, but I found it in the book. So you're right.
Okay, great.
I know.
Thank God. Now we can all sleep at
Ooh,
night.
what about Hunt? All I know is Hunt has the act. Okay, not to offend this group of people who I know are about to like cut my throat before this ends, but I just want to say I do believe that literally wingspan, not talking dick. I'm literally talking wingspan. I do.
You think that Hunt has a bigger wingspan than Asriel?
I think Hunt has the biggest wingspan out of all the Bat Boys just because of the way the angel wings are. But I'm not comparing dick here. I'm just saying.
But honestly, Hunt may have a big. I don't know. I'm just saying that Asriel is the biggest of the Bat Boys. Supposedly.
Yeah.
We
were gonna slit your throat
like,
for
Hunt
that.
might have a bigger one.
Well,
You and the death threats, Sarah.
I know. I feel like I'm gonna die after this live. I think it's that like I don't know. I mean, I also know that like Bryce is a bigger girl, like in terms of like height. Yeah. So like. Yeah. It's a little hard to judge. Like I view her shorter than Elain, but I don't think by much. And then I think Feyre's the shortest. So like, just to put the three of them next to each other. But anyways,
Feyre, I think Feyre. Bryce, I think, is also shorter than Danica.
Yeah, I would agree.
Nesta the tallest of the Archerons.
Are we, Sarah? I just am curious. Are we certain about Elain at 5'7"?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
In her Fae form.
Right, just because you said that in her Fae form, she can look directly in the eyes of Rowan.
There is a reference
in heels.
Like I don't know what she's wearing, but there is a reference to her. I think she's in her armor.
I missed the in heels part because I'm sitting here at 5'6.5" going, there is no fucking way.
I'm pretty sure it's like when she's her like it's only mentioned once or twice that she's not looking up at him. Like it is just
right, like she would. Like, if anything, it's like a slight tilt of the head, but it's not like
because like there's a few lines when they're in battle that it references Elain is looking directly at Rowan in the eye.
Can I just say that height discrepancies are really cute to talk about with couples for sure until it comes to pictures, because then you've always got like this going on in all your wedding photos when you're just trying to like look up all those loving pictures you see at weddings. Mine are like this. Every time because I'm trying to see Dylan's face.
What thought just came through my head?
What?
Oh no.
Something
and that is, wouldn't it be the funniest thing if Lucian was actually the biggest of them all?
I just said that.
No,
I was like, he's the finale book.
Yay.
He's gonna have the biggest dick.
He's gonna have he's Helian's son. He's gonna have
that's what I'm saying.
Thick thigh daddy Helian's son has a
Helian can't wear pants.
This is why we call him Sunny D. This is why we call him Sunny D.
What did they say about Autumn Court men? They like have fire in their veins. And
they have fire in their veins and they fuck like it.
Yeah. Sunny D. Sunny D.
Lucian just have this like, and Elaine's just like.
Yeah, Elaine needs to prepare herself. She needs to get ready. Yeah. Okay, for anyone wondering, we're doing this once a month. These crack theories once a month. So you guys can keep them in your mind. We are gonna keep these on a Wednesday schedule situation. And then Avery and I are doing actual theory discussions once a month. Theory Thursdays, but we will have topics. So they will not just be free-for-alls. There will be literal topics that we will discuss. Some of them will be Greek mythology. Some of them will be mythology based, like we were just going to talk about a mythology of a book. Some of them will be wings, all that kind of stuff. So just so you guys know, we do this once a month. I don't want anyone to bitch. As you can see, we weren't that mean. We just talked about a bunch of theories and laughed about it.
Yeah, and when you guys talk about the intergalactic properties of the cauldron, please let me know.
Yeah, that's a fun one, honestly.
Honestly, I think there will probably be several instances where Sarah and I have like a guest on Theory Thursdays.
Yeah. And
I'll have nothing to contribute. You don't want me to.
Honestly, it's kind of the fun. Is like
I will totally contribute
because it's not even really like that deep. Like some of these topics are just on mythology. So like, you know, we just want to, because for anyone who doesn't know this, like one thing that Avery and I talk a lot about, and we talk a lot about in the court document, but or in the court chat, is Throne of Glass is very Celtic mythology based. ACOTAR is very Greek, I would say, and then Crescent City is Norse mythology. So you know there is
the 3 books I have on mythology.
Yeah, so we have a lot. I think like half the books that aren't even on this bookshelf are just mythology books. So we'll have a lot of fun with those, and then we obviously will do these, and then and then next month we start the series club. I can finally talk about the Dark Elements. That's like so exciting. Basically, I'm just going to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so I just want you guys to prepare yourself for that. And then we're going to start a reread of Throne of Glass. I get to talk about like just Throne of Glass with you guys, not ACOTAR. Just Throne of Glass.
I know.
I'm very excited to talk to you.
What's wrong with talking about ACOTAR?
I just like every time it's always circles back to ACOTAR, and I'm like, okay, anyways, Throne of Glass. So,
ooh, good plug, Avery. Good plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to talk to you about.
I think people will be surprised at how civil you and I will be in the Tower of
I
Dawn
think they will be.
Because I think they think we're just going to be at each other's throats, but we pretty much agree with each other on almost everything except one thing.
You mean through the Kale thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Izzy knows I'm on her side with that one, so she's not going to be.
It's literally going to be like me and Sarah against you, Izzy, and Ashley.
Yeah, because Ashley's a massive fan of Kale in that book.
Well, and even the thing we disagree about, we kind of actually agree about a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was an idiot.
But I agree with Sarah with Lorcan. So
yeah, that's.
I don't know what that is.
Empire. Oh, that he's an asshole and that no one should have forgiven him, but everyone does.
I'm not the biggest Lorcan fan.
Well, or the other thing too is that, we'll get into it, but
here's the thing.
I'm just gonna plug this little random blip in that Lorcan and Asriel are not alike.
Yeah, no, they're not. No, they're not.
No,
the
not at all.
the I will tell you, the one thing that was very interesting when we were doing the Throne of Glass book club last year was the most contentious thing that everyone wanted to discuss was Adian and Lorcan, because people have very strong opinions on both of those characters, and honestly, the hypocrisy is kind of unreal. Like, yeah. And I'll even admit it. Like, I will happily admit that I'm a hypocrite. Not really, but like, because there's a reason why I don't like Lorcan, and there's a reason I defend ADM, but I know a lot of people will flip that. So we'll have a great discussion around it.
I defend Adian too.
Me too.
Freaking can I?
For anyone, Lysandra is like Lysandra. Yeah, she's my favorite character.
For anyone who doesn't know this, the reason I love Rune, the reason I caught on to Rune before everyone on TikTok fell in love with him this year is because of Adian.
Okay, I'm interested to hear more about that.
I will defend both Lorcan and Adian, but Lorcan is not my number one Throne of Glass guy, and you guys know that. But my top Throne of Glass ship is Lorcan.
I think that the ship versus Lorcan are two entirely different things.
Agreed.
Yes. Comment says Adian didn't deserve Lysandra, and I stand by that.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
That is not a tonight situation.
No, we'll be here a while.
We're wrapping it up. But I just want to tell you guys, and then I will say really quickly the last thing. I'll bring it up again next month as well, but starting in probably end of June, early July, you guys will be able to sign up to get updates on the reread session. So it's not happening right now because we're still finalizing some last minute things before we announce everything to you guys. I can tell you I'm currently looking at my monitor of all the merch that's being launched very soon, including the licensed merch that I have to send off. I have to finish the order tonight, so
You got this.
it'll probably not happen tonight. It's 10:30.
Can I do a quick plug real quick?
Yeah.
Taylor, Avery, and I and Alex Marmsmello will be talking illusion theories tomorrow on TikTok at 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Because Avery has a networking event.
Because Avery has a networking event that she's going to bail on early to talk about fairy porn. Yay!
You
Priorities.
definitely going to be saved to YouTube. It's okay. I'm going to make an appearance at a 3.5 hour event for an hour and a half. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah. And we'll be talking illusion and illusion theories and stuff like that. So
Especially because it's a baseball game.
on TikTok. My TikTok is read these fics.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right, friends.
That's it.
Thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for coming and being awesome. Okay, hold
Thanks,
on.
everyone.
I'm going to.
It's fun.
Hold on a second. Well, I should have.
I'll
had this.
probably call you guys right after we hang.
Somebody said, can you look and slide really quick?
Oh, sorry, y'all. I closed the Slido. Already closed it out. Sorry, fam. Oh, it's not.
For
even
next
playing.
time.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time.
Next
Okay. We'll do. We're gonna do this more often. Okay. So let me
Fun.
make sure the music is playing in here. Please hold. Oh man, it's gonna show it up over here. Hold on. I was trying to be all prepared. This is the whole process.
Technical difficulties.
God. Okay, there we go. Night, everyone.
Night.
You guys want to just call me on Instagram?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it when we hang up.
Okay.
Okay.
That works.
Alright.
Whatever makes the most sense.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Are you guys hanging up? Okay, I'll talk to you on Insta.
Guys.
Bye.